Wallace Industrial Tools and Supplies knows Southern Illinois. Located in West Frankfort, they're your Milwaukee superstore with over 8,000 square feet. Wallace Tools has the largest selection of Milwaukee within a 2-hour radius. Find power tools such as drills, saws, lights, shop vacs, and more with pricing lower than you'll find anywhere else. Wallace Industrial in West Frankfort.
IBI Management manages over 2.5 million square feet of industrial storage, warehousing, and office space in Tennessee, Indianapolis, Ohio, Illinois, and South Carolina with 64 tenants. Please feel free to contact us for any management needed for your property. Feel free to reach out with any questions to Bobby and Iris Kazadi.
With an award-winning body shop right here in West Frankfort, Illinois, Wicks is your hometown Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealer. Come out and visit us in person or online at gregweeks.com. Your hometown dealership, right on the price, right off I-57.
Kids Corral Incorporated, celebrating 25 years serving the children and families of Southern Illinois. Owned and operated by Jana King and Kristen Cass. Kids Corral in West Frankfort.
Redbirds Live, brought to you by the partners of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates, including former West Frankfort High School dual sport standout Lance Brown and fellow West Frankfort alumni and veteran Matthew Carroll. The law firm of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates are proud members of the West Frankfort community and proud servants of all of Southern Illinois.
Ask Melissa Walden about Shelters Auto, Home, and Life Options. Call or text at 618-937-2092. Melissa Walden, Shelter Insurance in West Frankfort.
Contact Power Wash Plus for a free quote on all your residential or commercial pressure washing needs. Professionally operated and fully insured. Call Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505 for more information. That's Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505.
Howell Insurance is a proud sponsor of Redbird Athletics. Serving West Frankfort since 1925, we provide auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. Howell Insurance partners with Auto Owners Insurance Company to handle insurance the right way, the human way. Call Ryan, Jessica, or Susan Patton at 937-4000. Experience a taste of Mexico at La Fiesta Mexican Restaurant. We have the best food and drinks for the whole family to enjoy. See you tomorrow, amigos. The city of West Frankfort is proud to support the students of Frankfort Community High School. The future is in the youth of our community. Go Redbirds. McDonald's, family owned and operated. Moreland McDonald's has 21 locations to serve you.
People's National Bank has been serving the communities of Southern Illinois since 1909. We believe that great customer service along with a wide variety of products will meet all of your banking needs. Come in and check us out today. People's National Bank, member FDIC. The West Frankfort Aquatic and Activity Center are proud partners of Redbirds Live. Come check out our heated indoor swimming pool, fitness center, and basketball gym. Stop by for a visit, or you can contact us at 618-937-1665.
We welcome you guys into Redbirds Live from Bill McKee Field here on March 22nd. And today's contest will be the West Frankfort Baseball Redbirds up against the Chester Yellow Jackets. I'm Garrett Smith, and I'm joined by my partner, Quincy King.
How's it going, Garrett? I think it's a great day for baseball. We got some clouds, not some sun in our face today, and we'll be able to watch it without having to squint the whole time.
Yeah, originally it looked like there was a chance, maybe some weather, but the forecast has cleared up. Still some overcast, but not expecting any rain, so expecting to get a good game in. Frankfort comes in 2-2. They dropped yesterday to Johnston City, but overall 2-2 to start. Kind of weird not having a game all week until Thursday, but I think we've been pretty pleased with the quick start from the young Redbirds.
Yeah, I think age does play a big factor in a 2-2 start, but I think it's a pretty good start for how young these guys are, and first coming into varsity play, not a lot of varsity experience between this group and what's being put out there on the field. So I think starting 2-2 and with some tough losses in there and some good wins, it's going to help for the future of the season.
We thank you guys for tuning in here in our pregame show. That's brought to you by Wallace Industrial Tools and Supplies in West Frankfort, as always. And make sure to go check out their Milwaukee Superstore, all things Milwaukee and much, much more. They're Wallace Industrial Tools and Supplies in West Frankfort. We've been off for a little bit, but it's been a while since Frankfort's been at home. But they do come in at 2-2, dropping that opener here at home against Carmi White County before going on the road and beating Sparta 5-3. Coming back and beating the short game Trico last time we were on the call, and then yesterday they got beat up by some good hitters over there at Johnston City. So Redbirds look to bounce back. Let's get to our keys to the game. That's brought to you by Weeks in West Frankfort. Any keys here for Frankfort just to find a way back in the win column and wrap up this week here, third week of baseball?
I think a big focus we could focus on today. Let's get the offense going. You know, uh, Putting up one run against a loss, a very talented offensive team in Johnson City Indians. Let's come in today. Let's work on some offensive things and try to get the bats going. Let's go up there, let's try to work counts a little bit. Do what you can to get to first, but really let's be looking to hit today. Let's get some runs on the board, get some confidence up, so we can go into next week feeling pretty good.
Yeah, and we can also say we will have coverage tomorrow of the junior varsity against Pinckneyville. We'll be on the air around 10:45 with the first pitch around 11 o'clock tomorrow morning between the Redbird JV baseball and Pinckneyville. Myself and Paxton will have the coverage of that one before we move into more coverage next week. We'll have some more JV games throughout the season sprinkled in as well, but we'll continue our home stretch here with the varsity team. And I thought it's been hit or miss really with Frankfort's offense. You kind of know real early if they're gonna score some runs. So I think it's important if they can get it going here early in this ball game, and I think get some runs up early on Chester. It's a long drive over. It's not a fun ride this way or that way. So I think it's important to try to get these guys down early, and we'll see how invested they are in trying to hang around.
Yeah, with teams like this with a long travel, you want to get jump on them early because getting off that bus after a pretty lengthy drive, they still got to get them a while to get really in baseball mode. If the kind of team they are, that happens to a lot of teams. Got to come in here, jump on them early, make them go down, and once they get trying to get back into things, it's too out of hand for them. They can't do it.
Next week we will have 3 ball games: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all here from Bill McKee Field, 27th, 28th, and 29th of March in order. Frankfort will play Waltonville, Johnston City, and Goreville. So plenty of baseball coming your way next week as well. And also, we can get a quick update on Frankfort softball and how they've been doing this season. They've played some tough competition as of late. They're now 3-3 after starting 3-0 on their season with victories over Woodlawn, Carbondale, and Pope County. So dropping 3 in a row to some good competition. Crab Orchard much better offensively than they've been in the past with a 11-6 victory over your Redbird softball team, and then 13-11 defeat at the hands of Sparta, and a 13-6 defeat at the hands of Trico. So it sounds like Frankfort softball is going to have to clean it up on the defensive side and the pitching side of things, but they've continued to hit the ball, and we'll see how they do. We'll give you live updates from Century today, but it's how quick it can flip. You play so many games, you start real high with a 3-0 start to your season, and that's how quick you can lose 3.
Yeah, it always seems like softball plays 4 times a week. Just when it gets to this early mid-season, seems like they're playing almost every day. And especially this game is mostly defensive. About 80% defense is what's going to win you a majority of your games. And it seems like nothing wrong with the offensive hitting side down there at softball for West Frankfort. So they can clean some stuff up on the defensive end, maybe get some pitching going. They're going to be pretty hard to stop.
All right, we will quickly get you your starting lineups. That is brought to you by Sam C. Mitchell and Associates in West Frankfort. And we will begin with the Chester Yellow Jackets, who come in with an odd record of 1-2-1 to start this season. 1 victory, 2 losses, and a tie. I'm assuming It was some game that was tied late, either called to darkness or called for weather. But either way, it was probably a drive that neither team wanted to make, so they just said, "Hey, we'll call it with a tie." But Chester comes in 1, 2, and 1. Here's your starting lineup for the Yellow Jackets. Leading off, catcher number 16, Colton Johnny, batting second. Number 17, third baseman Aiden Runge in the 3 slot. At first base, number 34, Brendan Malley, batting fourth. On the bump, number 23, Evan Bland, batting fifth. Second base, number 9, Ethan Colvis, batting sixth. In center field, number 21, Aaron Corando, batting seventh. In left field, number 12, Corbin Johnny. In the 8th spot, at short, number 6, Trey Peters, batting ninth. Number 22, the designated hitter, Lucas Thompson. And in the field, not hitting, number 33 in right, Evan Donning. And the Chester Yellow Jackets are led by head coach Jacob Winty. Now for Frankfort, coming in at 2-2 on the season, leading off in center, number 3, Cam Joyner. Batting second on the mound, number 2, Chase Patterson. Batting third at short, number 1, Hayden Mitten. Batting fourth at third, number 4, Eric Duncan. In the 5 spot at first base, number 6, Will Scales. Batting sixth in left, number 11, Deacon Webster. Batting seventh at second base, number 8, Chris Samples. In the 8th spot in right, number 0, Lucas Parker. And batting ninth, number 12, the designated hitter, Jace Bennett. And behind the plate, not hitting, number 5, Ethan Odom. And the Redbirds are led by head coach Tyson Smith. Those are your starting lineups, brought to you by Sam C. Mitchell and Associates. Let's see if we can get something good pitching standpoint with Patterson back out there to start this ball game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously our number one guy out there on the mound is going to be, our guy is going to be pitching, first game postseason, any kind of bigger moment game. That's the guy who's going to be getting the helm. And I have a good feeling today. He's going to go out there. You just got to throw strikes this level. Go out there. Make your defense work. You you can't really be disappointed if you go out and lose a game on defensive errors. I mean, obviously you can be upset with the loss, but as a pitcher, you did what you did to make good pitches, and the defense just didn't back you up that day. But hopefully they got him today. Go out there, make some pitches, and the defense can work.
And we mentioned that, or we got to call it the other day, how dominant he was in relief against Trico, and he needs to just build off that. And he came in and slammed the door shut when Trico was trying to, you know, force a run across to extend that ball game before Frankfurt short gamed him. But yeah, that's definitely their guy, and he's got to do his thing, and it's going to be up on the defense's shoulders. You don't make errors, you'll probably win today. You like the way the bats have been going by getting guys on and being able to manufacture runs and drive-in runs in 2 different ways. And I like your chances if you play clean defense, even an error or 2 here in spots, as long as they're not, you know, real short after each other and quick back-to-back errors. You can get by making 1, 2, or even 3 as long as you don't really let it open the floodgates.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that a few times with Frankfurt this year where they make an error and then it causes an offense to really get going against them, and they start getting guys on, and they put a few guys on, and guy comes up here, gets a big hit, and next thing you had 2 outs and that one error, now you're down 2 runs, and it's all caused by a simple error, and then guys kind of feeding off it from the opposing team. We just we gotta stay more composed, and when we make these errors, because it will happen, you will make 1, 2, maybe even 3 if you're on a good day. You just gotta stay composed and don't let it get out of hand, because that's when games start getting rocky.
Yeah, and looks like we got another 3-man crew here umping the base or umping the today's contest, and 3-man crew again. So you're gonna have guys in the right spots to make good calls, and then looks familiar to me. His head coach over there, Chester, is Jacob Winty, and he does a good job coaching in the summer, Junior Legion for Stillville, and he, he's a good coach. You're not going to be able to go out and just, sometimes you have coaches that you can probably out coach and win the game. It's not going to happen here today uh, for Frankfurt against a guy that's got plenty of reps and has been coaching basically all year long, coaching the spring season and then into the summer. So anytime baseball is being played, he's out there coaching a team. So we could be in for a good one. Chester's played some good ball games this year, and as we said, they come in 1-2-1, and we'll see if we can pull up the exact finals they have. Yeah, Marissa Coulterville, they knocked off 11-7 in extra innings for their lone victory on opening day. 4-4 tie was with Heron in that ball game, and whether called for darkness or for weather, the game was finished at 4-4 with a tie. Then losses to Carterville on the road 12-1, and then keeping it close with DuQuoin 7-6, a really good DuQuoin team. So Chester could bring a good team here today, and we'll see what we got. But got to play clean baseball to have a shot. That's going to go for any time for Frankfort, and let's see if you can do that and let Chase Patterson just go out there and work. And uh, we'll see. It's important to play good defense behind your guy, especially your number one. You don't want to get him, down, you know, mentally and think, oh well, could have done this, should have done this, but because we saw that opening day against Carmi, and we know that game could have been a lot different than the final outcome. But about time for baseball. Umpire and coaches meeting out at home plate right now, and not a whole lot of wind at the moment. No movement out there in center field with the flag right now, so we'll see if that plays a factor at all. As we mentioned, no sun right now, just complete cloud coverage, about 100% cloud coverage, at least in terms of where the sun would be shining through. So we are going to pause, let them wrap up their coaches meeting, and give you the national anthem, and come back and give you some baseball. It's the Redbirds and Yellow Jackets from Bill McKee Field on Redbirds Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Bill McKee Field for today's varsity contest between the Chester Yellow Jackets and your West Frankfort Redbirds. At this time, we ask that you please rise, remove your caps, and direct your attention to the American flag in center field for the play of our national anthem.
Alrighty, now that the anthem has wrapped up, we close in on Redbird Baseball here on Redbirds Live. Chester due up here in the top half to start this ball game. We'll have Colton Johnny, Aiden, Aiden Runge, Brendan Malley, and Evan Bland. That's 1 through 4 to start things off, and we'll see how Patterson and Odom can try to lock in as today's opening battery for West Frankfort. We'll see just how Frankfurt's defense holds up today. Field looks really nice. It's been looks like it's been watered here today, and we're ready to go. And once you know that you're not going to have any weather, you're able to have that luxury to go out there and water the infield. So no excuses. You got a good playing surface here today for the defense, and we'll see how things go. But you know, it's been a while since we've covered Frankfurt since last week, and you know, haven't been able to go out and see any of the. I didn't get to go to Johnson City and Frankfurt yesterday, and I was caught up watching basketball because that's the time of the year, and
Yeah, it's such a weird time. You're trying to switch over to baseball mode, then this big NCAA tournament starts happening, and then you get back
really,
into
I didn't know that was
basketball
going on.
mode. I was feeding off what you said
Yeah,
earlier.
you're right though, and it's a good time of the year. Weather starts to warm up, and baseball season is here. Opening day, I believe, is less than a week away for the major leagues. We're into the end of week 2 here in IHSA baseball in the state of Illinois. As we said, next week, Frankfurt's got a lot of home games. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then if you include the JV game to follow, you've got 4 games in as many days on this field next week, and plenty of reps. Plenty of reps to get out there and try to get into good form. And when is that time you know when you got a young team, do you consider it all right? Now you should kind of know what you're doing. Early on you give them a little bit of time. You're gonna have some rust, maybe a week or two. I mean, a month. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, really, I would say for me, if I had to say something, I'd say around like 3 to 4 weeks. I'd say right around there. It really depends how much games you play in that time frame. By 3 to 4 weeks, I think you got enough under your belt where okay, now that play 3 to 4 weeks later, you should be making. You got to be doing those things right when it comes right down that mark. You need to start playing better. Kind of mid-season, and you want to kind of carry that, start playing your best ball when you get to late. Early, this is where you need to be making mistakes. You can't be too upset if mistakes are happening now because this is when you can fix them and you can, you know, pick and pick everything you can do and look back at everything and really get your team ready when you're going mid-season to late.
Yeah, that's the tough part of it being at this level is that you mentioned it. A month in, that can easily be halfway or over halfway in your season. So it's really important to get any win you can early on. Patterson faces Colton Johnny to lead things off. First pitch in for strike one call. 0-1 on the Yellow Jacket leadoff hitter behind the plate. That's Colton Johnny. Second one outside, up and away, 1-1. One thing we saw from Chase his first 2 outings is he has the ability to punch guys out, but some guys go deep into that count and makes it hard to stay in longer with that pitch count going up.
Yeah, definitely. And with Chase, I really like his fastball. I think it's got a little tail when it gets late coming into, and if he can really locate a fastball well, I think he'll do pretty well.
He's still behind 2-1. This one's slapped out towards center, moving to the right, stabbing at it is Joyner to make the catch. That
Good
ball
play and run
carried
out
pretty
there.
quick.
I know it was off the bat pretty quick, and good thing for Joyner to get over there really fast and get to it before it could drop.
So even though in the hitter's count, Johnny flies out or lines out to center as Joyner moved to his right, and it was either going to be an out or probably a triple, depending on the result. And fortunately for Frankfurt, Joyner's able to bring it in. Here's Runge. First pitch, strike one, outer black. It's Aiden Runge. He's the third baseman for Chester. and he digs in. Left-handed hitter. 0-1, one down here, top of one. Second pitch on the way. Popped up left field line. It's going to go foul, and Webster's not able to get there. It was foul all the way, but thought maybe he'd have a play at it. Instead, you still got Runge down 0-2.
I was hoping that ball would, stay up in the air a little bit. He can, trucking along as fast as he can. Couldn't get there in time.
Still got him 0-2, and you don't have to come after him just yet. Patterson out of the wind to the plate. Too tall. 1-2. Patterson looks to not prolong this any longer than it needs to. Pitch on the way. Foul out of play left side. Back over in the lot behind us. It's going to stay 1-2. Some good cuts here early on from Johnny and Runge, and so expect Chester to be up there swinging.
Yeah, I was going to comment. I think if he can get on top of a fastball up and he can put a barrel on it, I think he looks like he got some power to really drive the ball.
A breaking ball had him fooled. It's a high towering pop up, shallow center. Joyner, two-hand grab and 2 away. Nice pitch there to really have Runge out in front of it, and it showed as he just hit a lazy pop-up to shallow center field, and Cam Joyner's put 2 away here.
Yeah,
Brendan Malley steps in, first base.
Yeah, I think that was the first breaking ball he threw in this first inning, and I think he was almost expecting another fastball to come by.
So you like the 3 hitters coming up with 2 outs and nobody on. He's going to try that off speed again, and it's too high up in the zone. It's crossed around the shoulders or just below it. 1-0. With that overcast, already got the lights on here at Bill McKee Field. This one's up and away, 2-0.
Better be safe than sorry. Let's turn the lights on. It was a little dark, honestly, without him.
And as that sun keeps creeping down below the tree line over there, it's only going to get darker. This one is too low, and Odom couldn't catch it behind the plate. Probably ball 3 either way. So 3-0 to Brendan Malley. You don't want to just give him a free pass here with 2 outs and no one on. It's Bland on deck. There's strike 1, outer edge to the right-handed hitting Brendan Malley. Counting out 3-1. Very important here for Frankfort. Put up a quick 0 and try to get the bats going. Swing and fouled off. It's hit the mask of Odom and kicks out of play. Count runs full. He's able to battle back. It's 3-0. And gets the called strike and the foul back out of play. We run full. Patterson. It's his signal. Comes home. Swing and a miss. Odom dropped it, and he's just going to tag out Brendan Malley. A 1-2-3. Top half of the first for Chase Patterson and the Redbirds coming to bat after this quick break.
Ask Melissa Walden about Shelters Auto, Home, and Life Options. Call or text at 618-937-2092. Melissa Walden, Shelter Insurance in West Frankfort.
Wallace Industrial Tools and Supplies knows Southern Illinois. Located in West Frankfort, they're your Milwaukee superstore with over 8,000 square feet. Wallace Tools has the largest selection of Milwaukee within a 2-hour radius. Find power tools such as drills, saws, lights, shop vacs, and more with pricing lower than you'll find anywhere else. Wallace Industrial in West Frankfort.
All right, so a quick 1-2-3. Couldn't ask for a better start for Frankfurt.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we needed right there. It's come in there and shut them down. 1, 2, 3. Now let's get some bats going. Let's put up some runs and help chase out up there.
Yeah, so the 1 through 4 to get going here in the bottom of the first will be Joyner, Patterson, Mitten, and Duncan. That lineup's been pretty consistent since opening day for Frankfurt, and I like that, trying to get guys into the role, and they know their role and their spot in the order. And you've seen some stability, maybe minor changes at the bottom, but 1 through 5 has been pretty solid here in terms of consistency going to start the season.
Yeah, I like the lineup we got. Going in 1 through 5. I think right there is pretty well of what it should be, and I think guys are in right spots around there. It's changed all up and or all down in the lineup over the course of early this season. But it's early. You're trying to figure stuff out, trying to figure out what the best lineup you should be putting out there, and especially with young talent and majority of young kids playing, it's tough to do.
And on the mound for Chester will be the left-handed throwing number 23, Evan Bland. So Frankfurt sees a lefty here against the Yellow Jackets, and we'll see just what he has. And we'll see Frankfurt's approach here early on. Got a guy that's got some decent velocity here in Bland, and we'll see if he's got the command to go with it. If not, Frankfurt needs to be patient, get guys on any way they can.
Yeah, you gotta go up there and you gotta figure it out how to get to first. That's the main goal at hand when you're coming to the plate. Help the team out, keep the chains moving, and I think that's a football phrase right there. But keep the line moving, and just gotta get the first. Figure out how to get to first base. It's that simple.
I feel like in other sports, they use baseball analogies so much, so I think you can steal one and apply it. And you're right, just keep the
So I
line
say we
rolling,
get there
and
and still.
well, that wasn't intentional, but we'll go with it. Here we go. Cam Joyner sets in. First pitch. Steve Reich, one, outer edge. To Cam Joyner. 0-1. Here in the early going, it's bottom one, and we are scoreless for Bill McKee Field, the Redbirds, and the Yellow Jackets of Chester. Next one on the way. Slide out, shallow center. Moving to the left and in, and making the grab is Carando. So a quick fly out induced that time from Bland. And he's only seen 2 pitches, but looks like he's got some good stuff to work with out there on the mound.
Yeah, you know, coming in, you can tell by his poise and how he's handling himself. He's definitely been up on the mound a lot in his career, and he's coming in today. He's wanting to show that he can get some easy outs, make some good pitches.
What do you think of the Chester hats here today? They almost look like some throwback Toronto Blue Jays logo hats from early 2000s.
Yeah,
Count goes 1-1.
from back here they look pretty cool. I was trying to see if I didn't know if my eyes were playing. Are they gray hats and then black bill?
Yes, it appears so. At least, if not black, it's a darker gray on the bill, and it's that early 2000s Toronto Blue Jay look on the as the logo. And
Yeah, that's a nice logo, man. I really respect that logo.
count goes 2-1. Tell you what, Frankfurt's got some nice hats this year, though.
Oh, I really like Frankfurt's hats. I think I really like the baseball type of crest with like the F and
Old
having
school
those
makes
kind
you
of
think of like Detroit Tigers or something like that. The old
yeah.
calligraphy looking F. So more baseball feel to it. Count goes 3-1. We'll see how aggressive Patterson is here. Bland to the plate, fouled off first base line. We run to 3-2. Anything close here, you expect that zone to be pretty decent in size with the way that these pitchers can work around a zone. This one is Outer edge, strike three called.
You know, I seen that pitch going in. I see the catcher when he where he placed it. It looked a little too pretty to not call that a strike.
If you set up over there and he hits a spot, you'll probably get the call, even if it is off a little bit. But it looked like a similar spot that has been called a couple times. So we said right before that pitch, got to be ready to go. This one's strike one, same spot. 0-1 to Hayden Mitten, who steps in over at short, as he has been here to kick off this 24 season. This one too far inside. It goes to 1-1. Nobody on base. No base runners yet either side here in the early going. Mitten steps out, asks for time. Scoots in, gets to 2-1. The wind on the way, fouled back to the screen, 2-2. All right, now seen Bland that he's got that ability to punch somebody out as he went outer edge for that fastball. Strike three called on Patterson. We'll see how Mitten goes after. On the way, fouled out of play right side. Bland looking to match the 1-2-3 that Patterson dealt in the top half. He's got a fly out and a strikeout looking. Swing and a miss. And 1-2-3 go the Redbirds. In the bottom half of the first. We'll pause, hear from some sponsors. Bring you back with the second. We're scoreless from Bill McKee Field.
Redbirds Live, brought to you by the partners of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates, including former West Frankfort High School dual sport standout Lance Brown and fellow West Frankfort alumni and veteran Matthew Carroll. The law firm of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates are proud members of the West Frankfort community and proud servants of all of Southern Illinois.
IBI Management manages over 2.5 million square feet of industrial storage, warehousing, and office space in Tennessee, Indianapolis, Ohio, Illinois, and South Carolina with 64 tenants. Please feel free to contact us for any management needed for your property. Feel free to reach out with any questions to Bobby and Iris Kazadi.
All right, through one, we are scoreless. No one has reached. Patterson's been able to strike out one. Bland has been able to strike out two, and 6 up, 6 down combined.
Yeah, it was a quick first inning. Both pitchers going out there, giving them their best shot at it. And, Chester came out and they really shown that. They got a good pitcher up there throwing for him, and lefty. It's a little harder to get a hold of it. Different look. You don't really hit off lefties much, or kind of rare when it's to righties. You see more righty pitchers than you do lefties, and it might take a few innings to really get a read on him.
And it's Bland who steps in to lead off the top of the second. After he just dealt a 1-2-3 bottom of the first. Patterson's first pitch to him, up and away, ball one. Now the defense almost seems much more important. Both sides. You got to limit those mistakes. You don't know how many runs you're going to score today. Just the vibe off the first inning there, but runs could be at a premium. We'll see. Count goes 2-0. It's Bland, Colvis, and Carando for the Yellow Jackets. Patterson fell behind 2-0. Swing fouled off to the screen. Makes it 2-1. Big pitch there and a hitter's count to get it in there quick. And Bland wasn't able to square it up, but these guys will be swinging, and that's makes it much more important to get ahead in the count because if you go behind in the hitter's count, these guys are ready to go. There's strike two. Call. We run even.
I think it'd be key to really keep hitting that spot on the course of the game. It seems like the outside edge is a good spot. The ump likes to call it. It's a little tough for hitters to get to it.
2-2 on the way. Inside, strike three call. That pitch is being called on what would be the inside edge to a left-handed hitter, and it's been called on both righties and lefties, that side of the plate. And live there. I mean, if they're going to call it, it's been consistently called to this point, and keep going there until you can't.
Yeah, it's the one thing, it's pretty cool about baseball. You always pitchers, you always have to shift and kind of change your pitching style when you get to these like a different ump because it's different zones and you gotta learn how to use them properly.
You really got to almost shift your approach based on the ump, and that one's called a strike as well, and that one might have been a tad out from what we've seen thus far, but you got an approach, and then if it doesn't really feed into how that ump calls a game, you almost have to jump ship middle of the inning, and there's a breaking ball in that swoops through across the plate for strike two. Call 1-2, and keep hitting that corner until it's not called anymore. 1-2 to Ethan Colvis on the way. Too far outside, 2-2. And if that one was called, I think you might hear some chirping from the Chester dugout. Colvis, and they're in a 2-2 count. Patterson already with one rung up this inning. This one bounces in front of the plate, and we run full. You go after him here, fastball.
Yeah, I think you maybe try to hit that spot a little outside with the fastball. I think would be a good spot to hit right now.
Just one breaking ball there. He went it earlier in the count. Here's the pitch, way outside. Ball fours, falling. They're getting ahead 1-2, and then losing the batter. And Colvis reaches by virtue of a walk, and that's the first runner in this contest either side. Here comes Aaron Carando, the center fielder. Now we get to see Chase Patterson out of the stretch the first time here today, and we'll see what kind of running game Chester has, and if Frankfurt's able to contain it. First pitch, too low, ball one. Carando appeared to maybe square around, show bunt, but picked up that's going to be below the zone and pulled back. We'll see if Chester tries to play some small ball. Pick move to first, back in safe is Colvis. Not a very big lead over at first. Pitch on the way, showing bunt. It's fouled back to the screen. We go 1-1. Looked like Carando just kind of stabbed at that baseball as it came in and didn't square it up. Instead, got way underneath it, and that's why we got to see it fly back at a decent velocity. Almost was barely slowed down there, but not the greatest technique. Showing bunt there, but we're early on, so he's got plenty of time to try to correct it. We'll see if they try again. He does, and it's below the zone ball too. Pulls back in time. 2-1, one retired, and one runner on over at first. That's Colvis. Chase Patterson up to 29 pitches. Pitch, runner's going, and it's going to be bunted foul up the first base line. So now 2 strikes on Carando. Colvis will have to retrace his steps back to first base. And, some coaches will still try to lay one down with 2 strikes, but you do run that risk of you bunt it down the line foul. It's going to be a strikeout, and the runners have to go back to their base. And it's really based on the philosophy of the coach. We'll see if they try it here. 2-2, 1 down. Pick move, back in safety is Colvis. Big pitch here to Carando. Pitch still showing bunt. This is going to be a foul ball. And he is going to be out. Runner has to go back. That's out number 2. Colvis will stay put at first. Odom didn't. He really took his time. He really took his time picking that ball up. You pick it up when it's foul, he's automatically out, and the runner's going back to first. Not sure why the umps thought they had to discuss that. It's a foul ball, bunted, strike 3. So runners can advance, and the batter's out. And but when you see that's foul with 2 strikes on a bunt, go up there and pick it up as quick as you can. That almost trickled back fair.
Yeah, no, I was getting a little anxious there because I thought the ball was about to go back fair. Go pick that up as quick as you can, like you said.
Strike 1 called into Corbin Johnny with 2 down, and still the runner over at first base. Scoreless here, top of 2 between West Frankfort and Chester. Runner going, pitch outside, throw down, on the hop. Big gets through into center, and the runner's safe, and he's headed for third. Joyner fires to third, and he is safe at third. Runners into third. Looked like the tag beat him, and so now you got a runner at third with a 1-1 count. And anything that gets away, he could be coming home. But I will say, bang bang play there looked like should have been an out call.
I thought it was going to. It looked like the tag was there. Throw definitely beat him. Tag got placed down pretty good from Duncan.
And then you saw the hand go in. Ball inside, 2-1. Good throw down to second initially, and he's going to be out there instead with the hop, and it scoots into center. Now you've got traffic over at third. Swing and a miss. Johnny swings below that pitch, and it goes 2-2 with 2 down here in the top of the second. Big pitch here. You can't let him get an easy one here by allowing the ball to squeak past you behind the plate. If you're Ethan Odom, you really got to protect it. Out in front of it, and it's popped up. Third base, it is Eric Duncan, and he is there for out number 3. I'm not sure why Colvis wasn't going home with 2 outs, but couldn't have scored anyways with Duncan putting it away. Nice job by Patterson to work around that walk there in that inning. And we're scoreless through an inning and a half. We'll hear from sponsors. Give you the bottom of the second with the Redbirds Baseball on Redbirds Live.
Celebrating 25 years serving the children and families of Southern Illinois. Owned and operated by Jana King and Kristen Cass. Kids Corral in West Frankfort.
With an award-winning body shop right here in West Frankfort, Illinois, Wicks is your hometown Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealer. Come out and visit us in person or online at gregweeks.com. Your hometown dealership, right on the price, right off I-57.
Midway through two, it is 0-0 between West Frankfort and Chester here with baseball live for Bill McKee Field in West Frankfort. And very important to get that zero there. That's almost an instance where we've seen in the past a lot of times Frankfort ends up allowing that easy run to score. But good work on the mound for Patterson to induce a routine pop up to third base.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like maybe it was a little slower, maybe a changeup he threw. He took a little bit off it and caught the hitter out in front and ended up popping it up. I think it was like a good pitch call and managed to throw a pretty good pitch to get him pop up to third. You couldn't ask for anything better than that in that situation.
It is 4-0. Frankfort softball leading Century in the top of the fifth. Already into the fifth inning. So a quick-paced softball game down in Ullen between West Frankfort and Century with the Redbirds on top. Eric Duncan steps in to lead off the bottom of the second. He takes ball one, low and away. Next pitch in, and not sure where that one missed. It's 2-0.
Looked like a pretty good pitch. Made it looked pretty close to dead center from my eyes. But, I didn't see that. Gave it a ball.
Yeah, well, I took a second because he's had a delayed strike call, so I wanted to make sure it was going to be called a ball. It's now 2-1 after the wave and miss from Duncan. Due up after Eric will be Will Scales and Deacon Webster in the 5-6 spots in the order. If anyone could reach, we'd get to Chris Samples. 2-1, wind on the way. Strike two. Bland very efficient thus far. He struck out a couple of guys, but still south of 20 pitches. He steps off to regather himself here. 2-2 count. Nobody retired here. Leading off the inning is Eric Duncan here, bottom two. And we are scoreless from Bill McKee. On the way. Payoff here. Swing and a miss. After that high fastball. It's quick one out here in the Redbird half of the second. Will Scales steps in. Frankfurt's first baseman. Bland on the way. Swing and a miss. He's got some good stuff here today. Frankfurt, a little late, trying to get around to that fastball.
Yeah, he's doing a good job right now, hitting his spots and doing what he needs to do to get outs. A lot of wave and misses from the Frankfurt hitters. Hopefully this can change.
Hitting their ball one. Sure how that game's in the fifth. That softball game, 4:30 start, and just a little after 5:10 right now, and that's up. Must have been a bunch of first pitch balls in play. This one's going to go out of play for strike two.
Yeah, it's a fast-paced game for sure. I bet their fans are extremely happy.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of traffic here in this one, as we sit with one out in the bottom of the second. 1-2 to Scales, and he's got to protect here. Pitch on the way, and it is below the zone, ball two. Count runs even. Frankfort looks for their first base runner of the ball game. Pitch on the way and just tapped foul. Scales got just enough to stay in there. Our home plate umpire dusts off home plate. And Scales settles back into the box. Out of the windup, it's Evan Bland looking to set down his 5th in a row. This one's below the zone. And it's important sometimes, as we go to 3 and 2 here, it's important to kind of, even if you just get one guy on, you kind of throw off that timing from your pitcher. He's got to go into the stretch, and that can really turn into a difference in a ball game. Payoff on the way. Chopped foul, third base line. Good at bat here from Scales.
Yeah, you got to do what you can to stay alive, try to get a walk, or try to put something in play to, we'll dinger the outfield, something to get to first right now, but you can't, do not stand up there and strike out looking.
Pitch count is up to 26 for Bland. Pitch on the way. Swing and fouled off again on the breaking ball. Hung in just enough. Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming up. On the way. Pitch is going to be bouncing in for ball 4. It's going to be ball 4. Scales will have first. And Deacon Webster will step in. So you get that guy on base, and we'll see what moving from the windup to the stretch could do here to Evan Bland. Webster is going to be the first one to see him out of the stretch before Samples, who is on deck. Coming home, first pitch. Gets away from Colton Johnny, but not enough for Scales to advance. He stays there, but the count 1-0 to Webster. The big hole over on the right side. Pickoff move, and he is out at first as Scales. Picked off. There goes Frankfort's first base runner. He's caught leaning. So now 2 down, and back into the windup goes Evan Bland. Pitch on the way. Strike 1. That's frustrating because, Scales probably wasn't going to be on the move. He's not one of Frankfort's quicker guys. You still get caught even though you're not, going anywhere. Strike 2. Count goes 1-2. So our umpire wanted to give Deacon Webster only 2 strikes.
I thought I had scoreboard right up there.
I think he did. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So not in there to the bottom of the second, but nothing changes. We're still scoreless through 2. We pause. We'll come back, give you the top half of inning number 3 between Chester and West Frankfort.
city of West Frankfort is proud to support the students of Frankfort Community High School. The future is in the youth of our community. Go Redbirds.
Which team will score first and get the first edge ahead of their opponent? As through two, it's been pretty clean from both pitchers in Bland and Patterson.
Yeah, I think Patterson came out here and he, kicked it off where he's at when he came in relief right here at Bill McKee. A few games ago, he's pitched pretty well today. It seems like things are working for him. Right now, he's hitting spots and getting guys out.
A two up here in the top of the third will be Trey Peters, followed by Lucas Thompson, and then back to the top of the order in Colton Johnny. So the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for Chester. Here's Peters, steps in, the shortstop. And we'll have the DH in Thompson. You got the 8, 9 guys, need to handle them before you flip it to the top. First pitch, bounces in, ball one. Peters on the left side, waves the bat, pitch in, ball two. Ball behind to the 8 guy. Next one in, ball 3, and it's 3-0 to Peters. Not a good start in terms of locating the fastball here in the top of the third. This is ball 4 and 4 pitches. You're going to walk the 8 spot, Trey Peters. Here comes the 9 hitter, the DH, Lucas Thompson, who's hitting for Dunning, the right fielder. Patterson comes home, strike one. Really need this one now. You don't want 2 on and none out when you flip it back to the top of the lineup. Pitch on the way, swing and a base hit out to left. And it's going to be first and second, so those 8 and 9 guys do reach. And now you got to worry about the top of the order in Colton Johnny and Aiden Runge.
It's pretty big for Chester to get those 2 guys on now, the top of their order, trying to do some damage to us right now.
And that just caught too much of the plate that time for Thompson to just serve it out to left. So you got 2 on and none out. Patterson checks the runner at second. Coming home, swing and a miss. Horse at any bag. You don't think they'd necessarily have to bunt here and move the guys over when you've got some good hitters here up at the plate. This pitch too tall, 1-1. Next one in, fouled off. Chopped near the Chester dugout. 1-2 goes the count. He's really been able to bear down here on this guy. He knows the importance of keeping those guys at bay and stranding those runners. He fell behind, quick 4-pitch walk, then you give up a hard hit single. You got to find a way to limit the damage. Starts here. First leadoff guy near the hole. It's knocked down, and it's going to be an infield single. As Mitten played it deep in the hole, and it's going to be bases loaded with nobody out. And here's Runge, who comes in with a fly out in the first. Bases loaded. Infield has been drawn into the grass. Patterson to the plate. Swing and a base hit slapped out to Webster, and it's past Webster. 1 is in. 2 is in. Here comes the third. And all 3 runners are coming home. It scooted past Webster trying to field it on one hop. And it's 3-0 Yellow Jackets here with still nobody retired in the top of the third.
That's an extremely disappointing way to start the third inning.
Especially, you got the bottom of the order due up, and it all starts with walks. You can't allow leadoff walks, especially to the bottom of the order. And, a 4-pitch walk to Peters, and Chester has just tacked on since then, and they now lead at 3-0. Still nobody out. Chase Patterson's got to find a way to bounce back. I mean, you've got a guy out there at second base. You got to get some outs here, and pitch to some weak contact, and you got Brendan Malley stepping in. And, some hard hit balls here in the third. Between a couple guys, and one at the bottom of the order, then you got your 2-hitter. And you just got to bear back in and try to get this guy. This one gets to the backstop, and it popped out of the glove of Odom. So now, runner at third with nobody out, and a 3-0 Yellow Jacket lead. We will have a mound visit. 1-0 count. Patterson looks to dial it back in, trying to find the rhythm again. And this pitching or mound visit is brought to you by Power Wash Plus in West Frankfort. Redbirds have to, runs are going to be at a premium for Frankfort offensively, it looks like, until they can get something going on Bland. But until you get a couple guys on, it's going to be hard to get going. He's been really difficult to work against out of the windup. We've not got to see out of the stretch yet, but you can't let this get much further than it already is.
Yeah, and that's what experienced pitchers, do. They, especially when they get later into the games, they start settling in more, and their pitches start, becoming a little bit more deadly once they get a little warmed up and, get into the middle innings here. It's, I don't expect a pitcher from Chester to really slow down.
Counts 2-0. Next one on the way. This one's strike 1 on the outer edge. 2-1 count to Malley, who struck out swinging back in the first. Pitch on the way. Swing. Popped up. It's going to get out of play back behind the plate. Back in is Malley. Patterson struck him out already once today. Pitch on the way. Slapped up middle of the field, and Joyner's not going to be able to get over and make the play. So it's an RBI single for Brendan Malley, and the train keeps rolling for the Yellow Jackets here in the top of the third. 4 have crossed the plate, and still nobody retired, as Bland will step in. And that happened in the blink of an eye here in this top of the third. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss out in front of it.
Yeah, no, not too long ago, I feel like it was still 0-0. They got their opportunity and they took advantage of it.
Runner leads from first is Malley. Swing and fouled off. Quickly 0-2 to Bland. Colvis and Carando after Bland here in the lineup. Still nobody retired. Patterson looking for that first out here in the third. Pitch on the way, outside, ball one. Going again, this one bounces in, and you really don't want to extend this full and potentially run the risk of walking a guy on here. This count is 2-2. Patterson up north of 55 pitches at 56 right now. Pitch on the way, outside, ball three. So quickly 0-2 to 3-2. Frankfurt's looking for just one out even here right now in the top of the third. Pitch on the way, strike three call. That caught a lot of plates, so I'm not sure what Bland's upset about, other than the fact that he was fooled by the pitch, but caught a lot of plate, so big pitch there to get the first out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a called strike. The umps calling that part of the play, a called strike all game, and I don't know how much of a strike it can get.
Swing and a miss. First pitch in to Colvis. Now you're back on the road to trying to battle back into this ball game. 0-1 here to Colvis with one retired, trailing at 4-0 in the top of the third are the Redbirds. Next pitch, strike two. Off speed, had Colvis standing up, giving up on it pretty quick in the delivery. Swing and a miss. This one sweeps off the outer edge. 1-2-3 strikes out Colvis. That'll bring in Carando. And now can have a runner moving over to first. Will be Heffernan. Ball gets past Odom as it scoots in, and now that runner goes down to second. First pitch into Coronado. One 0 count. Runner at second. Frankfurt trailing at 4-0. Patterson checks the runner. Coming home. Swinging fouled back to the screen, 1-1. Corbin Johnny would be the next due up if Carando was able to reach. Pitch on the way. Ball outside.
I thought that placement was really, really good.
That is a spot that has been called here today. 2-1. On the way. Swing. Popped up shallow center. Over to make the play to his right is Joyner, and that'll bring us to the end of the top of the third. 4-0 with a 4 spot there in the top of the third. Chester out ahead. Frankfurt due up, needing some runs in the bottom of the third.
at 7 o'clock p.m. Yes, donation of
Redbirds Live, brought to you by the partners of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates, including former West Frankfort High School dual sport standout Lance Brown and fellow West Frankfort alumni and veteran Matthew Carroll. The law firm of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates are proud members of the West Frankfort community and proud servants of all of Southern Illinois.
All right, the Redbirds need some runs here in the bottom of the third. As they will have due up in their lineup. It will be Samples, Parker, and Bennett. So the 7, 8, 9 guys for Frankfort in the bottom of the third. And Redbirds got to find a way to get some guys on because, just like that, you're down a 4 spot.
Yeah, definitely. You're not going to win the game with 0 runs. So it was already should have been a mindset coming into the game that we got to put some runs up on the board. Now you're in a bigger hole. You got to at least put 5 up right now, but that's holding their offense scoreless the rest of the way out. So you got to really put up some runs here if you want to stay in this contest.
Chris Samples leads it off here in the bottom of the third. Frankfurt's second baseman. Pitch up and away, ball 1. Pitch on the way. In there, strike 1. Comes the next swing and a miss. On that last pitch, where it was placed, almost makes Samples have to swing at that one with it being in the same spot. And Bland's ahead, 1-2. On the way, fouled off right side.
Yeah, 1-2 count. You got to protect the plate. Anything close. The outside edge has been called a lot today, and sometimes it doesn't. You got to protect that outside edge, and you got to really choke up on the bat here.
Below the zone, ball 2. Webster warming in the Frankfort bullpen. We'll see how much longer Patterson goes for West Frankfort. Count 2-2 to Samples. This one is below the zone, ball 3. Payoff coming up here. Bland now at 38 pitches in the ball game. On the way, ball 4 up. Leadoff walk for Samples will bring in Lucas Parker, the Frankfort right fielder. To get that first guy on, you just can't get picked off now. Got to see how Bland makes the adjustment working out of the stretch here.
Yeah, it's the first time he's had to do it. About second time he's had to do it in this ball game. With Scales over there at first that one time, but I think he's getting really used to working not off the stretch, and maybe it'll change him up here.
Back in safely again as Sample. This one a little closer than that first attempt from Bland. Gonna throw over for a third time. And safe yet again. At some point, Bland will have to come to the plate. And he does this time. In there, gets away from the backstop, Johnny, and Samples is going to easily take second base. Parker in there with a 1-0 count. And the pitch showing bunt. It's fouled off. It was deadened right there in front of the plate. Count goes to 1-1. Redbirds just trying to manufacture runs in any way they can. Trailing at 4-0 here, bottom three. About to see some activity in the Chester bullpen. Checking the runners, Bland. A couple of times. Now comes to the plate. This one is spiked in there. Samples is trying for third, and he's into third, and he's going to have home. And, it's obvious that Bland did not like throwing out of the stretch and would much prefer the windup. And count still goes 3-1 here as he's working back into the windup with no one on base. But it was very obvious. He was trying to pick him off before anything could happen. And this is slapped out towards shallow right center for a base hit for Parker. Jace Bennett will step in, hitting in the 9 slot. And today's DH. Hitting in the spot of Ethan Odom. He's behind the plate, not in the lineup. So you got a guy on again, and we'll see how aggressive Frankfort gets. Need 3 more at least to tie it up, and we'll see if he tries to pick off again. First pitch, too high, ball 1. Gage Hopkins swarming in the Chester bullpen. Bland now at 45 pitches. Very small lead from Parker. He's back in safe at first, even though he didn't really pick up that pickoff move either. He stood in his tracks until Bland was almost already releasing the baseball, but hard to get picked off if you got a small lead. And Frankfort's making sure that they aren't picked off here, as Bland's already done it once. Coming home this time. Bunt shows. Popped up. It's going to go foul and drop foul. Count now 1-1. This third inning, by far the longest out of the first, second, or third. 4 runs put up in the top half from Chester, and thus far 1 in the bottom from Frankfort. Still nobody out. 1-1 count to Jace Bennett with a runner at first. Coming home, strike 2. Called on Bennett. Lineup would turn over to the top to Joyner. After this at bat. Pick move again, back in safely is Parker. And it is final from Century, 5-1 victory. Quick one there on the road and a swing and a miss. Bennett goes down swinging for out number 1. So a quick 5-1 victory for Frankfort softball. We're back to the top with Cam Joyner.
Right here, maybe a good time for the top of the order to really get some looks. try to go up there and do something. Let's put the ball in play. Let's make some good things happen.
They pick over again, scooped out of the dirt by Malley over there. Pretty obvious at this point that Evan Bland despises throwing out of the stretch. Much more efficient and hits his spots better out of the windup, even though he got Bennett there, but does not like having base runners. This one, right down central for strike one. Joyner takes his time getting back in the box. Bland comes set and comes to the plate. Outside, ball one. Any way you can find yourself on, that's what Joyner has to be thinking here. Frankfort finally got their first hit from Parker, and he's trying to swipe second, and he's in safely. Joyner takes the pitch inside for ball two. That could be a important run, both sides down there. And even if you're not able to get it all back, giving up four, and you're able to cut that deficit in half, I think you'd call it a win here in the bottom of the third with how good Bland has been on the mound. And not sure how long he will go, but that swoops in for strike two.
Yeah, definitely. You can put up another run here, and I think you'd call that half inning a win for sure. Chipping down, there's still a lot of game left. Still got 4 more innings after this one, and enough time to put up some runs.
Checking the runner, coming home. Joyner swings over the top for strike three and out number two. It'll be up to Chase Patterson to help himself. He comes to the plate with two down.
Number two, Chase Patterson.
Man, that runner in Parker out at second base. Patterson, first time up, struck out looking. Pitch outside, ball one. Anything that finds that outfield grass, you think Frankfurt's got to try for that run. This one is below the zone. 2-0. Mitten on deck for Frankfurt. Bland, 2-0, trying to work back in it. Pitch outside, ball three. It's 3-0. Got to be thinking take here if you're Patterson. Pitch coming home. Ball four. It gets away. Parker's trying for third, and he is in safe. So Patterson will be awarded first. Parker takes third on the ball that gets away just enough from Colton Johnny. So runners at the corners for Hayden Mitten. with 2 down. Your bottom 3, and like another one here. You definitely don't want to get picked off at first with a runner at third, so Patterson's got to be alert as well. Pitch coming home, ball above the zone this time. And when you're missing, that zone seems to just get even smaller, at least from the perceptive of the pitcher, and it's got to be how Bland feels in the moment. Coming home. This one looks good. Strike 1.
I'm mitting up the play right now. Got a big task at hand. Try to do something. Let's bring this runner in from third and make this a 2-run game.
1-1 on the way. It's knocked down. Goes 2-1. Duncan would be the next up. Mitten struck out swinging back in the first to end a 1-2-3 bottom of the first for Frankfurt. 2-1 here with 2 outs, trailing at 4-1. Pick move to first, back in safely as Patterson. They teach you if you're back in safely standing, you're probably not. You probably don't have a big enough lead. But I understand being conservative right now over with that runner at first, with Bland's ability to try to pick guys off. This is in ball 3. Hopkins down there, he's ready to go if they go that way. Only one base open for Mitten, and he pops it up out towards right. There's Dunning moving in, and the glove is up for out number 3. Frankfurt gets 1 back, but a nice job from Bland and the Yellow Jackets to limit the runs and the damage to just 1. 4-1 Chester through 3.
Ask Melissa Walton about Shelters Auto, home and life options. Call or text at 618-937-2092. Melissa Walton Shelter Insurance in West Frankfort.
All right, as we head to the 4th, it's 4-1 Chester, and that's a big win there. That 3rd inning for the Yellow Jackets to plate 4, and then Frankfurt gets 1 across, but feels like it could have easily been a second run crossing, and if not, maybe even a third.
Yeah, you always hate leaving runners out on the bases stranded, and especially a guy over third. Runners in scoring position. It definitely hurts to leave him out there, and especially when you had your number 3 guy at the plate. Couldn't get him in. It always hurts, but some positive. We put up a run, and we got to start chipping away sooner than later. You don't want to let this game get late innings, and then try to do something. Then it's really hard to pick it up once it gets to 6th, 7th inning. You're trying to come down from a bigger deficit than what you could have. So it's pretty essential that in this 4th, 5th inning we need to put some runs on the board.
All right, due up for Chester will be the 7-8-9. So, the inability to set these guys down at the bottom last time, you got to put that behind you. And let's try to make it a quick one. You got the 7-8-9 guys in Corbin Johnny, Trey Peters, and then Lucas Thompson. So, see if Chase Patterson can try to, get back on track here in the top of the 4th, and he starts the inning with a called strike 1. Next one, too high up, head level. for ball one. The count even. Pitch on the way. This one is outside, and wasn't sure it was going to be called, but it definitely wasn't once that's not closed in the glove there that dropped out. But it looked like it was off the plate to the right-handed hitting Corbin Johnny.
Yeah, no, it's always a big deal when catchers really squeeze the glove and get that ball in the mitt, because a lot of umpires will not call that if you drop it, even if it is close.
Count now 3-1, so 3 straight balls thrown after the quick strike to start the inning. Patterson now up nearing 70 pitches on the afternoon into the evening, and that's ball 4, nowhere close. Threw a good first pitch, and then after that, 4 pretty non-competitive pitches that Johnny didn't even have to think about swinging at. And you're right back with the leadoff guy on base, another one via the walk, and here's a guy in Trey Peters. You really don't know what he's capable of because he watched 4 pitches and they were nowhere near the zone. So a sizable lead over there at first, and we'll see if you can go after Peters this time, and he takes ball 1.
Yeah, control has gotten out of the way from Patterson in these past 2 innings. It's been really all over the place, and got to get back and try to find the zone.
Pitch. In there, strike 1 outside to the left-handing hitter in Peters. Pick move in safely is Johnny. Patterson needs to worry about the guy at the plate and Trey Peters, who he struggled throwing strikes to today. This one in there, strike 2, and he's ahead 1-2 on Peters. Got a reminder, we are back tomorrow, 10:45, with coverage with an 11 o'clock first pitch with Frankfort JV against Pinckneyville. This one's fouled off left side, out of play. Count stays 1-2. So we'll see the junior varsity look for their second victory in 3 tries here early on in the year. Knocking off Vienna and then playing a good game against Cesar-Valier Waltonville, coming up just short in that one in game 2. So plenty of Saturday games for the JV team, and we will have a handful of those, including tomorrow against Pinckneyville with JV baseball here on Redbirds Live. Resetting this one, it's 4-1. Chester, top of 4 with nobody retired, leading the Redbirds. It's a 1-2 count to the 8-hitter, Trey Peters. Patterson up north of 70 pitches now, looking to get this first out. And it might have fooled the home plate umpires. We run even. Looked like it was in a good spot, and Peters was awfully fooled by it, and potentially our home plate umpire as well. But get it out of mind. You got to worry about the next pitch. This one in there, strike 3, and maybe a makeup call that time. Out number 1. Definitely wasn't an obvious ball, but I think anything close was probably going to go back in Frankfurt's way after the missed strike on the pitch prior. But good job to battle back, and now we get to the bottom in Lucas Thompson, who had a nice hit ball for a base hit out to left in that big 4-run third. And this one misses, and Thompson's ahead 1-0. This one nowhere near the zone, 2-0. Patterson falling behind 2-0. Thompson, runner leads from first. This one in there, strike 1. Trying to battle back into this and fight through a 4th inning is Patterson, who's really having to grind it out here these past 3rd and 4th. Pick move in safely. Nice scoop from Scales and applies the tag, but it's too late.
Yeah, I think we really need to go after this guy at the plate. I don't think he's had some off plate appearances today, and we really attack him now.
Swing and a miss, and it evens up 2-2. Before flipping it back to the top of the order in Colton Johnny. And it's Corbin Johnny who leads from first. It's Lucas Thompson who's in there. Pick move back in, safe. Clean off home plate. We're back in there ready to go. Big pitch here. Trying to keep the deficit at just 3. Pitch on the way. In there, strike 3, the off speed. And it's out number 2. We're back to the top. Here's Colton Johnny. 2 outs with a runner leading at first. Johnny's 1 for 2 on the afternoon into the evening. 1-0. He takes it up and away. Ball 1. We know the damage that this top of the order can do. This one's popped up right side. Scales gives it a look, and it's going to go out and play foul. The sun's starting to peek through now, and really turned into a nice day for some baseball. There's no breeze, and that's feels like pretty rare for games up here. And up on this hill, we normally always have a breeze, but nice day for some Frankfort baseball. This one's below the zone, 2-1.
Yeah, the sun might be throwing off, some of the hitters. You never think about it, but early in this game, having to deal with getting used to overcast setting and now sun peeking up, it might be a little different look at the baseball.
Yeah, for them right-handed hitters for sure. And this one scoots in and it bounces to the backstop. Runner's going to have third, and it's a 3-1 count to the leadoff hitter. It's Runge on deck, who cleared the bases on that ball hit out to left field last time up. If a few more were to reach, I can't expect Patterson to last much longer. He's really had to grind here recently. 3-1 pitch. Back up the middle. It's a base hit. Will they send the runner? Joyner. He has it, and they will hold the runner at third as he got it in quickly. So it's a single up the middle for the leadoff hitter, Colton Johnny. And it's going to be runners at the corners for Aiden Runge this time. As we mentioned, he had that base hit out to the left. Probably going to go as a single and advancing on an error, but either way, he cleared the bases when they were loaded. So it's Runge back in. And in the book right now, it has that listed as an error, but that was definitely a base hit and then just advancing. And this is up the middle for a single. Run is driven in from Runge on the first pitch. I understand maybe advancing on an error, but there's no way that was an error on the play that last time up. But it's 5-1 here in the top of the fourth. So now here's Malley who steps in, 1 for 2. It's 5-1, and it's still Patterson out there, and he's got 2 more on. And how many times does it go back to walks? Slow grounder, and Mitten scoops it up and just flips the short way to Samples for out number 3. But a run tacked on here in the top of the fourth. It's 5-1 Yellow Jackets on top of your Redbirds. We'll pause, give you the bottom of the fourth after the break.
Industrial Tools and Supplies knows Southern Illinois. Located in West Frankfort, they're your Milwaukee superstore with over 8,000 square feet. Wallace Tools has the largest selection of Milwaukee within a 2-hour radius. Find power tools such as drills, saws, lights, shop vacs, and more with pricing lower than you'll find anywhere else. Wallace Industrial in West Frankfort.
Kids Corral Incorporated, celebrating 25 years serving the children and families of Southern Illinois. Owned and operated by Jana King and Kristen Cass. Kids Corral in West Frankfort.
All right, we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. It's 5-1 Chester's. They tacked on another run there in the top half of the inning. And at least to start the bottom of the fourth, we will see Bland back out there as he worked with some traffic there. Didn't really like runners on. He couldn't get comfortable, but he was able to limit the damage, and Chester still got a 4-run lead.
Yeah, and that comes with experienced pitchers and everything. They get hit with that adversity and problems ahead, and they know how to stay the course and stay on the mission that they were out there to do, and that's to go out there, let your defense work, and get outs.
It'll be Duncan, Scales, and Webster. 4, 5, 6 guys due up for Frankfort to begin the bottom of the fourth. Let's get some guys on again because that traffic seemed to cause some stress on the Chester starting pitcher. The first pitch in, ball one. This one in, a little outside, 2-0. We mentioned earlier, Frankfort softball gets a win. It's 5-1 victors over Century. They're back on Monday at Dorville before returning to Frankfort. You can catch them in action at home against Alvarado next Wednesday. Frankfort snaps that losing skid. Duncan's facing a 3-0 count. This one in, ball 4. How long is the leash on Bland? This might be his test here, this batter here, and Will Scales. Pick move, and he is out at first as long as they can get him. Duncan is going to be out. It's the second runner picked off. And Frankfort cannot afford to be doing that. The limited base runners they've had, and they've had 2 of them picked off at first base.
Yeah, man, that's a very unfortunate right there. Saw him. What really hurt him was when he jumped as the pickoff move was happening, and there's just no recovery from it.
Pitch in, outside, ball 1. We will have a mound visit. This one's brought to you by La Fiesta Mexican Restaurant in West Frankfort. Coach Wente seems pretty upset about something, and he's going out there to make a point right now to his pitcher, whether it's frustration with Bland or our home plate umpire, either way or both. He's out there to give a message and trying to prove a point to his guys. And you got that guy after a quick walk, but and he's falling behind again, 1-0 to Scales. But that's 2 guys now at first base that's been picked off for Frankfort. And they can ill afford that the way they've been getting guys on, or the lack thereof, getting guys on. And you just restart. You got to find a way on again with Scales with 1 out and nobody on.
Yeah, I mean, you can't afford stuff like that, especially being down 4 runs and having trouble at the plate today against the pitcher. You know, those are the kind of keys where we get on the bases. You kind of have to be a little urgent about. He's tried this pickoff move several times, and he definitely doesn't want to go off the stretch. He's probably going to do it a few times for you.
This one's slapped out towards right center. Is it going to hang up long enough? No, it will not. It's a base hit for Scales. Dunning comes over to cut it off and get it back in quickly to Colvis. So a one-out single, and man, I mean, the approach would have been different, but you'd like to know where you'd be if could avoid that runner being picked over at first. But it's in the past. One out, runner at first. You've got a guy on again. He's got to pitch out of the stretch again. Does Bland, and you got Deacon Webster up, trying to move Scales over. And it was Scales who was picked off that first time. Quick move. It gets to the screen. Scales will have second base. He tried with that slide step, and sometimes if you haven't done it a whole lot, you will tend to overthrow it. That's what we saw there, and he spiked it into the dirt, and ends up being an easy base for Scales. And it's a lot tougher to pick a guy off over at second, so especially when he's left-handed, as compared to throwing over to first. So Scales has to feel a little better about his chances of staying out there, as compared to him getting picked over at first earlier in the game. Count goes 1-1 after it's fouled back out of play.
Yeah, I'm almost kind of shocked that they didn't try another pickoff move with Scales at first. Maybe did it once, maybe he'll do it again, or get off a little too far.
Even just to see where they're at, Scales thought about third and wisely retreats to second. This one was in the dirt, but I think Colton Johnny would have had an easy throw down to his third baseman and Runge for a tag. So smartly, Scales retreats to second base, 2-1. The count to Webster. Webster takes this one up and away on a breaking ball that just never hooked back in over the plate. Goes to 3-1.
It had a little bit of movement, but not enough to get back over center. I'd say it'd be pretty dirty if it had enough movement to get back for how far out it was.
Samples on deck, and I'm not sure Bland will go much further than this at bat if he ends up allowing Webster on base. 3-1, taking a lot of time. Webster's going to ask for time. As you're taught to do, the longer that pitcher can make a hitter wait without him being granted time is only a benefit to the pitcher. So once you get in that spot where you feel like you're there for a long time, it's smart to put that hand up and see if the ump will grant you time. And Webster is able to get it there. 3-1, pitch coming home. It is ball 4, and it was bounced in again. It's going to be Scales getting to third as it got away from the backstop again. And we will see if that's it or we keep going. It will be Chris Samples stepping in. He was able to walk earlier, and he has scored Frankfort's lone run. See, was able to advance to second, later advanced to third on a ball that got away, and came home on an errant throw from the backstop down to third, trying to get him. Runners at the corners. Pick move to first. Back in safe. And Frankfort's still having a hard time picking that up on a pretty obvious move over to first base.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, maybe the first couple times in the game, it'd be pretty noticeable that what he's doing. I mean, he's pretty slow at the pickoff move, and you can tell he brings his knee up a lot higher, and he starts shifting his body way to first base before he makes a throw.
Trying again, and Webster still a delayed dive back into the bag. Pitch in, too tall for Samples. Ball 1. Coming to the plate. This one looks good. Strike 1. It's Chris Samples, and Frankfurt's looking for anything they can get. They definitely need that guy from third to come home. Pitch to the plate, swing and a miss. Count runs to 1 and 2.
You know, I think Chris lays off that one. He'd be in a 2-1 slot. Seemed a little high, and especially it's a big positive at his height. He can draw a lot of walks with a smaller target, smaller strike zone.
Hopkins down there throwing again a little bit here for Chester, and it's a swing and a miss. Samples swung through another tall one, and 2 down. Runner still stranded at first and third. Here's Parker, who comes in, who had a base hit slapped out to right center last time up. Bland up to 78 pitches, but he's done a good job of limiting damage, just allowing the 1 run thus far. And if he could get an out here, it'd be a big boost for the Yellow Jackets. Pick move, Webster. Hesitation again, but goes back in safely with not a large lead. I don't know if the read is a little different from over there, but his move to first hasn't been that deceiving. It's been pretty easy to tell when he's going. It's really slow as he makes his way over to first, and when he's coming home, he kicks that leg up a lot quicker than his move over to first. That ball's in too high. It's 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
At time. And some commotion over from Frankfurt's dugouts being snuffed out. There's still some sort of conversation from one of our field ups and over there at Frankfurt's dugout. Throw behind Scales after the pick move to first on Webster. Coach Wente having an issue with someone, but we'll leave it at that. 5-1. Parker steps back in, and somehow it feels like he's been up forever, and the count's still just 1-0.
It's that bad. It's crazy. 1-0. It feels like he's thrown 5 pitches.
Swing and never had a shot at that one. It was a half-hearted swing there. It wasn't fully committed to it. If you're not fully committed to it, you can't make an offer. You'd rather take your chances of maybe it being called a ball or seeing a good look at a fastball or something. But it goes 1-1. This pitch too high, 2-1. I'm not sure what it was about, that stoppage earlier, or who the Chester head coach Jacob Wente was talking about, but we're not going to speculate. But obviously something enough that umps even had to stop it and draw attention to it. Count goes 2-2 after the swing and miss from Parker. Big pitch here. Bland has answered every challenge he's had thus far in this game. He's up to 82 pitches. Big pitch here, 2-2. On the way to Parker. Strike 3 looking. And that's going to end the 4th. And Frankfurt strands 2 more. We go to the 5th. 5-1, Yellow Jackets on top.
Don't forget our concession stand is still open right now on left-hand line. Serving nachos, pretzels, hot dogs, hamburgers, and much more. All proceeds for the benefit of maintenance and upkeep of Billy D. and Charles Rodeo.
With an award-winning body shop right here in West Frankfort, Illinois, Weeks is your hometown Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealer. Come out and visit us in person or online at gregweeks.com. Your hometown dealership, right on the price, right off I-57.
The city of West Frankfort is proud to support the students of Frankfort Community High School. The future is in the youth of our community. Go Redbirds.
We head to the fifth. It's 5-1 Chester, in what has been a pretty good ball game. It's been pretty clean, both sides. We've had a couple of balls get away from the catcher and some runners move up, but for the most part, it's been a good game and pretty eventful. We've had some stuff, but good ball game all in all.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know, both sides, the intensity really picked up there in the bottom of the fourth, and you know, it gave me a pretty big spot and just fell short for the Redbirds. But overall, in all, it was a pretty, you know, it was the Redbirds got to find a way how they can try to do something here. They got to get stops. This fifth, sixth, seventh, it has to be, you know, one, two, three, good defense, and you got to give your offense a chance to do something here.
This pitching change brought to you by Hal Insurance in West Frankfort. On the mound for Frankfort will be Deacon Webster. We figured he would get in at some point with him going down there and warming up in the bullpen. Normally, if Deacon warms up, it means he's coming in the game, and he does to start off this top of the fifth. Deacon's a good pitcher you like to have in a fresh inning. He wants his own hitters. Uh, like a lot of pitchers, they like to come in with no one on base. There's some of those guys that like coming in and leaving those runners on, but uh, give Deacon a fresh start here in the fifth, and we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, you know, I think this is a good spot for Deacon to have success. Coming in, you know, fifth inning, we really need stops. He's coming in, you know, clean slate, nobody on, 3 outs to go. Uh, you know, I think it's a pretty good spot for him, and you know, have a good mindset going into it. And usually, when Deacon has a good mindset, he performs a lot better.
So the final line for Frankfurt starter Chase Patterson: 4 innings, 5 runs, all earned on 5 hits, 7 Ks, 3 walks. I think the big number there is the 3 walks in the spots they came in. You know, most of those walks, I know at least 2 of them. Not sure, maybe the third one as well, but it was to lead off the inning. And leadoff walks always come back to haunt you.
Yeah, I mean, you lead off an inning and you give up a walk, you get a free base, a free passageway to first base for a guy, and you know, it really is kind of an instigator in an offense and for hitters to come up. You know, it's no outs, got a guy on first, and it's really easy to rally behind that.
First pitch fouled out of play left side. And I think a lot of credit needs to go to Evan Bland on the other side. Just the 1 run allowed through 4, and like Patterson, who had to fight his way through the third and fourth, Bland did as well, and a lot less damage given up for Chester's starting pitcher. He's fallen behind 0-2 though, with Webster in there getting that one called on the inner half. Following Bland, it'll be Colvis and Carando for the Yellow Jackets. Pitch on the way, too high. It's 1-2. We talked about it briefly, but any good scores coming? I know we were looking at it earlier, but a high-scoring one. This one's fouled out. Stays 1-2.
You know, I did see Yale did come up with an upset over Auburn in that game. Came down to the wire, and I think Auburn had free throws to actually tie the game and gave it up and
How about
lost that first round.
Ivy League representing again? Feels like they always have either a solid team in it. This one's fouled out again, or they give a good game against someone. It's no slouch in terms of where their basketball's at here recently, but I saw a high-scoring game in there. But I'm hoping for some good vibes tomorrow with the Illini looking to make the Sweet 16 for the first time since 05. Pitch on the way. This one's in there, strike 3. Looking. Webster rings up Bland. And here comes Colvis. Big first out for Deacon Webster. There's Colvis who steps in. Been there in the middle of this order. Been quiet for the most part. Did reach earlier. 0 for 1 though on the ball game. It's 1-0 here in the count. Webster looking to get Frankfurt back to the bat. This one slapped out to left, and it's going to fall in front of Patterson, who was shifted out to left field. So a base hit for Colvis. And Carando will step in. So that switch when Webster came in to pitch should just be a pretty simple swap between your left fielder and your pitcher. So that's Patterson out and left, Webster to the mound. And that doesn't hurt you though. I mean, you make him earn it, and nice base hit from Colvis. But you get the first guy, so now you shift your focus to Carando, who showed bunt earlier. We'll see if they try to move him over the runner in Colvis again with Carando at the plate. Webster coming home. And it's just going to be a take outside ball one. Webster looking in for his sign, coming home. This one's too high, 2-0. After Carando, it's a 7, 8, 9 guys. So you're at the bottom of the order. You'd like to maybe get this one, and you can lead off fresh in the 6th with a couple guys down there as well. But I will say Chester has proven that anywhere in their lineup, you guys can get on base, but you still would take your chances with the bottom compared to the top. This one, a touch outside, and it goes 3-0. Webster's got a battle back now. Pick move to first, back in safely is the runner in Colvis. Webster comes set, fires towards the plate. This one in there for strike one. Runner leads from first is Colvis. 3-1 count. Webster trying to get back in this one. Another pick move to first and safely. Webster coming home, swing, chop back, past the mound, and Mitten bobbles it back behind the mound. Runner's going to be safe at first. In Carando, Colvis was off with the pitch, so he's in easily at second. It's going to be first and second. Still just one out. And here's Corbin Johnny who steps in. Not a whole lot of harm done. You'd like to come up with the play, but you can still minimize the damage here, and you still got 7 guy you're dealing with. You'd rather him get on that way instead of just giving him a free pass down there. And it's good for Webster to at least battle back in the count and make Carando earn it. 2-1. First pitch swing and a miss. Quickly head 0-1. Some velocity behind that one for Webster.
Yeah, I think right now we can worry about this guy at the plate. Really go after this guy. Maybe get him down on the count. Maybe make it 2 outs, and we'll be setting ourselves pretty good to get out this inning.
Pick move to second. And easily was Colvis. Webster checks the runner, comes home, and it's outside. Ball one. Pitch on the way. This one looks pretty good. Strike 2. Nice pitch from Webster. Big swing pitch there, too. Instead of being 2-1, you're away ahead in the count 1-2. And no reason to waste any. Go right after him and try to get this guy, and you got one more. You can get back to hitting the baseball. Samples bobbled it. Runner's safe at second. Everyone's safe, and Samples was too late getting it out of the glove.
Any point when you're in that position, you balled it a few times, especially with the runner from Chester who's on second base. You just go first base, get a guaranteed out there and make it 2 outs, because especially, with 2 outs, anything goes.
So now the bases are loaded, and the last two reaching on some slow rollers that should have been outs. We're putting it, frankly, should have been outs, and instead, it's not what uh, Deacon Webster's dealt on the mound. He can't worry about it. He's got to get this guy, and first pitch up and away, ball one. To Trey Peters in the 8th spot. 1-0 the count. Pitch on the way. Popped up, shallow center. We'll see if the runner's tagging. And he will. And he will score pretty easily on the sacrifice fly as Joyner puts it away and had no chance to get it into the plate on time. So it's 6-1. Chester gets that run in, and that's big. Even if Frankfort could have gotten even one of those last two plays for an out, you probably feel like you're out of the inning. Instead, uh, you still got work to do, and two guys on base trailing at 6-1.
Yeah, that's just like what we talked about at the beginning of the game. Get a clean defensive game, and stuff like that. Then you wouldn't be in those kind of situations.
First pitch popped up. Scales on the first base line, stabs at it, and gets out number 3 for Frankfort. Another run crosses. Chester slowly increasing their lead. They're up 6-1 through halfway through the 5th. We'll hear from some of our sponsors. Frankfort coming up to bat after the break.
IBI Management manages over 2.5 million square feet of industrial storage, warehousing, and office space in Tennessee, Indianapolis, Ohio, Illinois, and South Carolina with 64 tenants. Please feel free to contact us for any management needed for your property. Feel free to reach out with any questions to Bobby and Iris Kazadi.
All right. So we head to the bottom of the 5th. It's 6-1 Chester. Thus far, Chester has 6 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. Frankfort, their line is 1 run, 2 hits, and 4 errors committed by Frankfort. So it's a 5-run deficit, and the 4 runs, or the 4, mixing together between the 4 errors and the walks allowed. Not a good recipe, and a couple of balls hit and play there that last half inning where you feel like plays got to be made.
Yeah, I mean those are routine plays. Those are, dribblers up in the middle of the infield, and those are routine plays. You practice that every day in practice, and that they have to be made. Those are just this should not happen where you bobble consecutive amount of times.
It will be 9-1-2 for Frankfort. So leading it off, it'll be the DH Chase Bennett, followed by Cam Joyner and Chase Patterson. And back out there yet again is Evan Bland, who just keeps on trucking for Chester. First pitch behind Bennett, ball 1. One and 0 the count. And Bennett in there. Hitting from the left side this time. He takes this outside ball 2. The switch hitter Normally, you wouldn't see him bat from the left side with a lefty, but that's something new in baseball here recently. You've seen it at the major league level. Kind of just depends on how you're feeling, and you've seen it with Tommy Edman for St. Louis. This is a swing and a miss for strike one. It's really based on the release from the pitcher that you're facing, and you've seen him face a guy from the same side coming home. So Bennett will try from the left side, and he's now even in the count 2-2 after that's fired in for strike two.
Yeah, you're set yourself up really good, 2-0, and now it's gotten down to 2-2. You got to do what you can to protect and try to get on.
Pitch on the way, half swing, and it's strike three either way. Bennett goes down for out number one. Here's Cam Joyner. Comes in, 0 for 2 in the game. This one above his head, ball one. Redbirds looking for a rally, trailing at 6-1. Pitch on the way. This one too tall and outside, 2-0. Next one. Dust Joyner off the plate, 3-0. He's got a knack for getting on base as well, so I'd expect some patience here from Joyner at the plate, already ahead 3-0 in the count. And Bland now up to 91 pitches, so his outing won't be for much longer. You just got to find a way on, get a rally any way you can. This one, ball four. Joyner is going to trot down to first. Will be Chase Patterson coming up, and that might do it. So we see head coach Jacob Winnie head to the mound, and he's going to take the baseball from his starting pitcher. It was a good effort from Evan Bland, and I think for the majority of this game, he was dominant in terms of maybe just pitcher to hitter, but I thought the most impressive thing from his outing was his ability to work around traffic on the bases.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's been in situations like this before, and coming in, he kind of had the chirping, started feeding off a little bit, maybe got him through an inning or a half inning more of throwing the ball. I didn't think he'd stay in 4 1/3 innings pitch, but he managed to stay in as long as he could. And, it was time it was time for him to come out.
Yeah, he's responsible for just the one runner over there at first if he were to score, but a pretty good effort from Bland, and we finally see Gage Hopkins, who's been warming up on and off for a while now. He's in to pitch off the Chester bench for the Yellow Jackets. So Gage Hopkins comes in. Looks like Bland is going to be moved to the outfield, and they will make a sub for someone out there, but the outfield shifts around, and it'll be Hopkins in on the mound with one runner on and one retired here in the bottom of the fifth. 6-1 Chester on top in this ball game. Patterson will be the first to see the new pitcher, and I'm sure he's been ready to go for a while. I know when you get that mentality that you're going in the game, you're ready to go within the next 10, 15 minutes. It's been more closer to an hour for Hopkins since he first got up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Going off and on like that, and finally getting your opportunity. finally getting your opportunity to get to the mound now, uh, you know, he's more than ready to get on the mound and throw some pitches.
All right, here's Hopkins. He'll see Chase Patterson to get things going. First pitch on the way. Popped it up. Catcher turns, gives it a look, and it's out of play. Back behind us. Quickly 0-1 on Patterson. Midden awaits on deck. Joyner, the nice lead. He's taken off. Throw down. Play at second. Joyner safely in there. As it gets away from the middle infielder, goes into the outfield, but a stolen base for Cam Joyner. Count 1-1. After that last one missed the zone. Hopkins tries to back pick. Joyner, he's in easily. Pitch, swing, lined over the shortstop's head. Nice base hit from Patterson. Picked up but bobbled, and they're going to try to send Joyner. Throw to the plate. He is in there safe, and Patterson's going to take second on the throw. RBI single from Chase Patterson, and moving up on the throw through to the plate.
How about it? For the West Springfield Redbirds, number 1, Hayden Benton.
It'll be Mitten. Be Mitten the next one to step into the box. 6-2 the score. So Frankfort gets a run. They needed to come back and see if they can get another one here. I think probably a mistake throwing it all the way through. I think if you're smart, you just get it into the middle infield and you hold Patterson to first base as this breaking ball drops in for a strike.
Yeah, I mean that would be the smartest decision. You don't have to challenge that run at all. One run doesn't hurt you, and you want to keep the damage at a minimal. Keeping that guy at first with the central for him.
This one up at the shoulders for ball one. Hopkins checks on Patterson, comes home, swing, and tapped foul. Count out 1-2. Mitten's got to find a way to put this in play. It's Duncan on deck, be the next in line. Checking the runner and coming home. Swinging, just foul. Just got a piece that time. But with that runner crossing, that will officially close the book on Bland, who went 4 1/3. Gave up 1 run, which was earned on 2 hits. Struck out 9 and walked 6. So that strikeouts and walks really raised that pitch count as this one's fouled up the third baseline. Stays 1-2. Bottom 5, Frankfort trailing at 6-2 with 1 retired. Runner out there at second, looking to trim it a little closer here. Mitten swings and smacks it out to left. Running back on it, not able to get it is Johnny. That should plate Patterson pretty easily on the stand-up double from Mitten.
Getting some nice hits here, rallying in some runs. Definitely feeling good for our team right now.
Now it's Eric Duncan's turn, who steps in, and a nice piece of hitting there with 2 strikes. And Overlooked will be all them times Mitten was able to just get enough to tap it foul, and then he got a pitch he could really do damage with, and just caught too much of the plate and hung up over the plate. He served it out towards left for one hopper to the wall. This one's underneath it is Duncan, out to left, over towards the line. The catch is made awkwardly, but able to get the out over in left field for out number 2.
Now batting for your first Frankfurt Redbirds, number 6, Will Scales.
Will be Will Scales. Steps in, and Will Scales has reached both times, once on a walk and once on a base hit out to right field. Frankfurt trailing at 6-3. 2 runs already played it here in the 5th. Another one out there at second. Strike one as it drops in over the heart of the plate.
I think that's a good take first pitch. Taking a first pitch breaking ball. It's not a pitch you want to get a hold of. You get something a little more solid. It's a different one.
Especially if you're not sold on it being the pitch you expect. He goes after this one down the third base line, and it's a fair ball. Runner's going to stay at second, and Mitten and Scales should have an infield single off the awkward hop. He should be 2 for 2 and a walk today. That one caught a weird spot. It bounced up and hit Runge over there at third. He's trying to shake it off. It might hit that lip where the dirt and the grass meet, but you've got 2 on now. It's Deacon Webster who steps in and represents the potential tying run.
I think this is a good situation for Deacon to be in right here. Come up big. It's definitely going to help him when he transfer it to the defensive end, goes to the mound and pitches.
Webster, first pitch, taking strike one. So we hit 6:45 Central Time. Here in the bottom of the 5th, it's 6-3. Next pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2 on Webster. For bottom 5, Frankfurt trailing it by 3 to Chester, who's led since that 4-run top of the 3rd. Frankfurt was finally able to chase starting pitcher Evan Bland, who struck out 9. 0-2 to Webster. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss on 3 pitches, goes down Webster, and Frankfurt strands 2 more on the base pass, and that's been the story. Frankfurt not being able to drive guys in. 6-3 through 5. We head to the 6th. The Yellow Jackets up 6-3.
Contact Power Wash Plus for a free quote on all your residential or commercial pressure washing needs. Professionally operated and fully insured. Call Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505 for more information. That's Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505.
We head to the 6th, and Frankfurt, at a minimum, has made it interesting again. It's 6-3 the score. Looks like Chester's going to have some more activity in the bullpen here during this half inning where they're up at the plate. But 2 runs played. Frankfurt left a couple more out there, but they've made it interesting. A couple of good solid base hits there in that inning.
Yeah, doing what they can to stay alive. Put up 2 runs there, and you're only down 3 coming in. You got to have two good defensive halves here if you want to give yourself a shot. If they keep you keep letting them making mistakes, letting them put runs on the board, it's going to be even more of a struggle in the bottom 6th or 7th to try to get back in this.
It's Webster back out there to work in the top of the 6th. And it will be the 1, 2, and 3 due up for Chester. Colton Johnny, and then Aiden Runge, and then Brendan Malley. That's the 1, 2, and 3 guys. Ball 1, fired in up eye level. First pitch of the half inning. Next one in, foul back. Make it 1-1. Webster looks for a clean inning, and if you feel like the tide could turn here, if you can get a clean one and get the bats going again. This one, ball two, too far in. There is some activity for Chester. This one, ball three, 3-1. The count to the leadoff man, Colton Johnny. Swing and popped up. Middle infielders coming in over, and it'll be Mitten who makes the play near second base for out number one. A big pitch there in a 3-1 count to get the pop out. Here's Runge. Down there in that pin for Chester is Corbin Johnny. First pitch way outside, ball one of the left-handed hitting Runge. We will give you a quick Redbird outlook going forward and recap from this week and next week. That's going to be brought to you by Kids Corrals' foul back, strike one. Softball this week. Busy week, 3 games, and 4 games, and it was an empty week until today. Softball loses 11-6 at Crab Orchard on Monday, 13-11 at home against Sparta on Tuesday, for losing on the road at Trico 13-6. Yesterday, and then they won today in a quick one, 5-1 at Century. So, and it's a swing and a miss to even it up 2-2 on Runge. And for baseball, just 0-1 coming into today with the 11-1 loss at Johnston City. And now, obviously, here today with Chester. 2-2 pitch on the way, up and away, full we go. JV coverage tomorrow with baseball against Pinckneyville before a busy 3-game broadcast schedule next week. All home contests Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Payoff pitch on the way. Ball up and away, ball 4. Those games against Waltonville, Johnson City, and Goreville. And that outlook and recap with your Redbirds brought to you by Kids Corral. So 1 runner on. For Malley stepping in. Runge's aboard yet again. Pick move back in safely. Worry about this hitter and not about the runner over there at first. This one's popped up first base line. Scales gives it a look. It's going to find the seats out of play. So ahead 0-1 on Malley. Bland spot on deck. Chester's starting pitcher. 1 aboard, 1 down here in the top of the 6th. Webster comes home. It's going to be ball 1 underneath the zone. Webster, pick move again, back in safely yet again is Runge. Webster's pitch. Off speed is too low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Webster coming home. Back up the middle. Mittens there. Fields to Samples on to first. Double play. That's a 6-4-3 turn by the Frankfort infield, and we're headed to the bottom of the 6th. It's 6-3 Chester on top of West Frankfort.
Experience a taste of Mexico at La Fiesta Mexican Restaurant. We have the best food and drinks for the whole family to enjoy. See you tomorrow, amigos.
All right, we head to the bottom of the 6th, and pitcher's best friend there with the 6-4-3 double play to get Frankfort out of the inning. Nice pitch from Webster, and nice roll from Mitten to Samples onto Scales, and you're back to the plate. Got a chance to put some more runs on the board, and momentum definitely in your favor. The 2 spot there in the 5th, and then nice momentum there to end the top half with the double play.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely out of all the kind of errors we've made on the field today, coming in the 6th inning, it's nice to see us turn a 6-4-3 double play there, and you know good turn by those guys. That's exactly what you want to see, and you make plays like that, you can get yourself into ball games and win ball games pretty a lot easier. Now West Frankfurt's got to come up here right now, and they gotta you gotta contribute, you gotta do what you can, get the first. Let's keep the line moving. You got 3 outs, you got 6 outs left in this game. You got to do what you got to do. To get to first. You got to put runs on the board to start now.
Now batting for your West Frankfort Redbirds, number 8, Chris Sample.
It'll be Samples, Parker, and Bennett. 7, 8, 9 guys for Frankfort. Here we go. First pitch on the way to Samples. In there, strike 1, as it's Hopkins back out to start in the bottom of the 6th on the mound. This one's slapped down the left field line. It is going to be a foul ball, and not by much. 0-2, and that would have been a couple of bases for Samples. Jumped that pitch and was just a tad ahead of it. That was not foul by a whole lot.
Yeah, the eyes lit up. Couldn't wait back. Just a little bit, and he would have had a hit in fair play, probably a double out of that. You just gotta keep your timing back, especially with a guy who throws a little softer.
Now Hopkins has him 0-2. Pitch on the way. Ball 1 off speed in the dirt. Count 1-2. It's Chris Samples. Same thing. 2-2. Trying to get Samples to serve it something in the dirt. Get out in front of it. Count 2-2. Pitch on the way. Swing and foul down the third base line. We'll try again. 2-2 on the way. Ball high. 3-2. Next one. Up there again. Samples goes from 0-2 and draws the walk. And it will be Lucas Parker, the next one up. And I'm not so sure Hopkins is going to face him. We'll go to the pin yet again. And it will be coming in from left field. Should be Corbin Johnny who's going to throw. He was warming up in that top half. He will be the one to take the ball here. Bottom 6 with nobody out, and Samples leading from first, but nice at bat. Felt like a unfortunate break that ball landed just a few feet foul um, on that second pitch. He fell behind 0-2. He easily could have given up in that at bat, and instead was able to be patient and draw the walk.
Yeah, I was going to comment on, Chris Samples' good plate discipline here in that at bat. Yeah, you're exactly right. He drew that walk and, he did what he had to do to get to first base. It would have been much better to come up here, get a hit, you know, but, getting to first base, you heard the team, it means a lot when you can go up there and do your job and move the chains for sure.
So it'll be the third pitcher today for Chester, and this one will be Corbin Johnny. He follows up Hopkins, who went just 2/3 of an inning. And as of now, just the one earned run. He is responsible for Samples over at first. So here's Johnny facing Lucas Parker, who's 1 for 2 and got Frankfurt's first hit. This ball outside, ball 1. Next pitch. Gonna peel down to first, safe. Did not go. 2-0. We mentioned on deck is Jace Bennett before flipping to the top of the order. 2-0 to Parker. Inside, ball 3. It's 3-0. Going to be taken here, you would think. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Parker, and we get to Jace Bennett with 2 on and nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Does Frankfurt have a late game rally in them? You could find a way on here. You flip it to the top of the order. You feel decent about your shot to come back in this one. Bennett showing bunt, stabs at it. He offered strike 1. That was definitely in a spot where you could have got that down the third base line. It just seemed like he was trying to leave the left-handed batter's box before the ball got to him, and you got to keep that bat there, and you got to stay behind it to get down a good effort. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Quickly in the hole. Pitch on the way. Fouled off to the screen. Stays 0-2. Johnny checks the runner, comes home, and outside, ball 1. Joyner in the on-deck circle. He's next due up. 1-2. Coming to the plate. Swing and slap left field line. It's going to get out of play, foul. We'll try again. 1-2. Come to the plate. Swing and back up the middle, and they're going to throw to second for the force. Johnny took his time, was just going to go to first, instead settled for second. Barely able to get Parker at second, but they get the force At second base, runners at the corners for Cam Joyner. So you get one over. But the force at second gives Chester a big first out before the lineup flips to the top here in Cam Joyner, followed by Chase Patterson, who's on deck. Runner leading from first is Bennett. He's taken off. They're not going to throw through. It's an easy stolen base on ball one to Joyner.
You think the approach with the hitter coming up take first pitch with how?
I think they were stealing second. I think Joyner was taken all the way there, and he's taking ball two here. So essentially it worked as a sacrifice. Instead of Bennett being the force out and runners moving to second and third with one out, he ends up on first and stealing second. So it essentially worked in to a sacrifice bunt to move both guys over. Ball three. He spiked a couple in a row. Patterson is on deck, and he'd love to get himself off the hook. He's currently in line as the losing pitcher. And it feels like it's been a long time since he's seen the bump, but he could help get rid of that. 3-0. Joyner takes strike one. Corbin Johnny trying to work back in this count. He fell behind 3-0. He's had some issues finding the zone here since he's come in. That is ball four. Bases are loaded for Chase Patterson. Just one out still. And then they'll take a few moments. The players will to talk amongst it out at the mound, trying to get Corbin Johnny in the strike zone. As the catcher in the infield, they come in. Bases loaded for Chase Patterson. You know, with all that's happened, you've got opportunities right in front of you here to cut this closer and make this a new game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you got bases loaded, one out here. You need to come in right here with a good mindset. We've had plenty of opportunities this whole game. We're getting granted another one right now. We got to take advantage of this and put some runs on the board. Let's try to let's do something with it here.
He had a nice hit ball up the middle last at bat. First pitch in there low below the zone, ball one. On deck would be Hayden Midden. Got a nice hit to the wall out to left last at bat. This pitch outside 2-0. Falling behind again is Johnny. He's got to find a way to get back. There's nowhere to put Chase Patterson. Hitters count on the way. Low ball 3-0. And I'm not sure where Chester will go next, but I think Frankfurt's credit to get Bland out of there a little sooner than they wanted has made this possible. Patterson's not going to be swinging. He takes ball four. Frankfurt plates a run. They're trailing now just 6-4. And it'll be Mitten coming up with still just one out. Chester coach Jacob Wente, nowhere to go right now anyways. They're sticking with this guy who struggled. First pitch in there. It's outside a little bit. Looked to be a good pitch. Ball one. We say it so many times. If you're missing the zone, you end up not getting those calls, and that's a borderline call that has been called some today and sometimes hasn't. This one inside, nearly got Mitten. It's 2-0.
Yeah, really struggling to throw a strike here, and it's almost you take until you let him throw you a strike at this point.
Mitten takes strike one. 2-1 to Mitten. He's ready to go now. Duncan on deck. Frankfort needs 2 more to tie it up. Swing, lazy fly ball, left center. It will drop. It's a base hit, or will it be a force at third? It will be safe at third as it got away from Runge. It's a base hit RBI single for Mitten. The run was going to score either way, but that could have been a potential big force out at third base. Still just 1 out, as it was Joyner who got in there to third. Bennett came in to score. Patterson now down to second, and it's Duncan up with the bases loaded. Frankfort trailing it just 6-5.
Yeah, definitely a big inning, taking advantage of what we got right now.
Duncan takes strike 1. That looked to be pretty high up in the zone. Scales on deck. Redbirds trailing by just 1 run now here, bottom 6. Next pitch, swing foul to the screen, 0-2 on Duncan. Well, you're in the hole 0-2, but you've got to find a way to put this in play. Make Chester make a play, and you can't gift him a second out by not putting one in play here, trailing by 1 with the bases loaded. Pitch to Duncan. Takes outside, ball 1.
Yeah, I know you're looking at some ways this might be the best chance we got to really take the lead right now and go into top of 7th, so we could potentially end it.
Very well could be the game here with how this is set up. 1-2, pitch to Duncan on the way, outside 2-2. Two and two to Duncan. Bases loaded. Frankfort trailing at 6-5 with 1 out. On the way. Line drive up the middle. That is going to be a diving catch. And how does Frankfort not tag on the play? That's got to be a tag up there. There's no reason not to just be standing on third base. Would have been a game-tying sac fly. There's no reason to not be on the bag. Because if that falls in, you're scoring anyways. Instead, there's 2 outs and still a 1-run deficit.
Especially with the center fielder diving like that, he has to get up and make a throw, and that would be really hard to do.
Which he wouldn't have been able to do, right? And he would have just thrown it into the infield. I don't think he's going to try to be, Ken Griffey Jr. or Jim Edmonds out there. He's just going to get it back into the infield. 1-0 to Scales. 2-0 to Scales. Can they still tie it up? They're trailing 6-5. They've scored 2 in the 6th after a 2 spot in the 5th. Chester holding on by a thread with this lead with the bases loaded. Ball 3, too tall. 3-0 to Scales, and you're taking a pitch and maybe a second one. It's Webster on deck. Leading from third is Joyner. Patterson at second. Mitten at first. Pitch on the way. Ball 4. We're tied. So it works out where that didn't really hurt you. The sac fly didn't hurt. You didn't get a run. It wasn't a sac fly. It was just a fly out. But you still tied things up. Didn't cost you any, fortunately, on the 4-pitch RBI walk from Scales. And here's Deacon Webster. He struck out on 3 pitches last time. Hey, Deacon, go get you a hit, get the RBI for the win, and then you can go get the win as the pitcher if you do something here. First pitch, he's taking strike 1. Pretty simple right there in front of him. Patterson's off the hook. 0-1 to Webster. Takes strike 2. Quickly ahead, 0-2 on Webster. 0-2, coming home. Popped up foul, right side out of play.
I want to see Deacon right here. Just make some good contact with the ball. Not try to kill it and hit it 500 feet. You make some contact, the ball's going to travel a little bit.
Bland no longer the winning pitcher of decision. Pitch on the way. Fly ball center field, breaking in and going back. It might have burned him, and he's going to be able to retreat and make the play. Out there in center was Bland. Frankfurt puts up a 3 spot in the bottom of the 6th, and we are tied at 6 as we head to the 7th. Take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. It's 6-6 from Bill McKee Field with the Redbirds and Yellow Jackets.
Howell Insurance is a proud sponsor of Redbird Athletics. Serving West Frankfort since 1925, we provide auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. Howell Insurance partners with Auto Owners Insurance Company to handle insurance the right way, the human way. Call Ryan, Jessica, or Susan Patton at 937-4000.
We head to the 7th here from Bill McKee Field in West Frankfort, and we've got a brand new game. It's 6-6 as we head to this 7th in this game that was controlled by Chester for the majority. Frankfort got into that Chester bullpen, and they finally were able to knot things up. You feel like a 0 here in the top half of the 7th, and you're in really good shape to potentially walk it off in the bottom half.
Oh yeah, definitely. The momentum swing there, especially if we put up a 0 up in the 7th. I really like the energy coming from the dugout today, from the guys. I think that's been a thing that Frankfurt's lacked in most recent years. It's kind of just bringing energy to games, and I think it's a big part of us getting back in this one. Never really kind of getting out of it and keeping the energy up. Down 5-1, 6-1 at one point. Uh, it's tough to stay battling in games like that, but you keep your energy level up and you can stay here with it. It's really essential. We got to come in right now, put up a good half inning.
Frankfurt now with some activity in their bullpen as it's Webster back out there to start the inning. It looks like Reese Walton is the one down in the Frankfurt bullpen for the Redbirds. But they got to worry about the guys due up now. It's going to be Bland, Colvis, and Carando. And back out there, first pitch ball. 1-0. Next pitch in there outside, 2-0. Which team is going to jump and score next? I feel like Chester scores here, they've got all the reason to win this. And same thing, if Frankfurt can post a 0, they're probably going to win it. That's just the way it feels. Chester can score here, they're back in control, but big 0 here could be costly. Webster, pitch, too low, 3-1. After Bland, it's Colvis, then Carando, then Corbin Johnny. Big pitch here for Webster on the way, and he walked him. Too many walks here from Frankfurt, and a lot of them have come to leadoff innings, and they've cost them earlier in the game. We'll see if this one comes back to bite them. Some activity down at Chester's bullpen as well. Colvis steps in with 1 on and nobody out. It's Runge who's throwing some down there for the Yellow Jackets. Here's Colvis. We'll see the strategy here. Will they just swing away? He's been a good hitter today, or will he try to advance him over with a bunt? First pitch, fly ball out to right. Moving back is Parker, and he's there to make the play. Almost ran a complete circle, but that's a big out against Colvis, who's hit the ball pretty well today, and one pitch to get him. Carando steps in. Big out there with runner on and nobody out.
Yeah, definitely. I got a little nervous in the route, taking in right field, but composed himself and was able to come down with the ball. Huge play.
Carando, pick move back in safely, and the last thing you want is a pick move that just gets all the way to the fence. think if you're Webster, you just worry about who you're messing with at the plate. If you get these two guys out, that guy at first can't score no matter what. And even if he advances each at bat, there's nothing he can do. So um, worry about the guy at the plate in Carando. First pitch, showing bunt. He offered. That's a strike. Even though it was going to be out of the zone, Carando never pulled it back. It's 0-1 with one down. They're top 7. Frankfort has rallied the last 5 runs to tie this thing up as they've gotten deeper into this game and deeper into Chester's bullpen that has struggled at least to this point. Webster has Carando 0-1 in the count. Takes his time getting back in the box. Now he's settled in and we're ready to go. Bland who leads from first. They pick move again. And that one nearly got away from Scales. And there's really I don't see the reason to doing that. I get one move over, but it doesn't have to be your good move. It's more to keep him honest and not let him get a big lead. You don't really have to pick him off, but Webster's thrown over to try to pick him off. Bunt showed, pulling back is Carando. It's ball 1.
Yeah, let's go for guys at the plate here. I don't, you know, over there at first base, I don't think he's going to be stealing on us or taking any easy bags. But yeah, just make sure he's not getting in a ridiculous lead to where he can take an easy bag.
That's why you do your slow move, just to keep him, at bay. Bunted right back to Webster. He can go to second, instead opts for first in the easier play. And probably the smart move with where his momentum was going. So out number 2, and it'll bring up Corbin Johnny, who's currently pitching on the other side of things. So 2 outs, runner down at second. So a successful sacrifice for Carando there. Not a great bunt, but with how Webster was moving and a decent jump off first, probably the right move to go to first base and not even risk it. Get your guaranteed out. If you get this guy, it doesn't matter which way you went there. First pitch, too high, ball 1. It's been a long ball game, but it's been an interesting one. 6-6 here in the top of the 7th. Chester looking for a base hit to give them the lead. Swing and a miss. Frankfort looking to keep their momentum, going to the bottom of the 7th with 5 unanswered already. And all they would need is one more if they could get this out here. Webster checking the runner at second. He's coming home. Ball 2. On deck would be the 8 spot Trey Peters. You do have first base open, but there's no reason to allow him that base. Go after him. That should be strike 2, and it is. 2-2. 1 strike away from getting to come up in the bottom of the 7th with a chance to walk it off. It's 6-6, Chester and West Frankfort. Webster steps off, checks the runner. Webster needs to worry about this guy. He's got 2 strikes on. Now he looks into his catcher, Odom. Comes set. And coming home. Pitch. Swing and a miss. And Webster sits him down. And we're going to the bottom of the 7th, all tied at 6. A big punch out for Deacon Webster, and Frankfurt's going to have a chance to walk it off. How about that? Battling back, leadoff walk. And Webster does his job in relief there. Walton didn't have to come in just yet, but they're going to have him ready in case we go any further. What a rally from Frankfort offensively, and then a nice response on the mound there from Webster, even after the leadoff walk.
Yeah, definitely. That was huge. A huge half inning. Good job for the Redbirds out there. You got to go down now. Bottom 7. Got to walk this thing off. Do what we can. We just need 1 run across, and this team can do it.
Corbin Johnny, he's back to start the bottom of the 7th. I thought they might go to Runge, just with how Johnny's had some issues throwing strikes, but maybe he's just needed a little bit to settle in, and Frankfurt will have a chance to walk this thing off. Something that didn't seem possible, but they just kept going. And like I said, I give credit to their ability to get Bland out of the game a little sooner than probably what he had originally intended when he knew that he was getting the ball today. And you know, one extra inning of a team's bullpen could make the difference. And so far tonight, it has.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. It's it's been huge. Uh, Deacon coming in, throwing strikes, throwing good velo, and you know making guys go up to the plate just feeling comfortable. And it was a good job for the Redbirds on the offensive end to come in, take advantage of the guys that came up after in the relief in Chester's bullpen. Doing a great job of doing what they can to get on, put runs up, and this game's tied going in seven.
Yeah, and Johnny's had some issues command-wise since he's come in, and this probably isn't the guy you want to face when you're needing to throw strikes because Samples has shown the ability to work counts and be patient, and we'll see if he does that here in the bottom of the seventh. First pitch on the way. He goes after it, pops it up. It's in foul ground, going over, and it's going to be caught. One pitch and one out. Samples chased one and a quick out to start this bottom of the seventh. That'll be Lucas Parker. And then Jace Bennett. I think anyone could reach. We'll flip to the top of the Redbird lineup. Due up top eight, if we get there, will be Peters, Thompson, and then Johnny. And Parker's going to have a lead off or a one out single on his first pitch out to left, and it looked just like a late break by Hopkins trying to come in on that, and it's a base hit. Two pitches, and Frankfurt's going right after a guy who can't throw strikes. Work there, but I'd maybe want Johnny to come after me a little bit, make him earn me swinging the bat. But you've got him on, and now you've got Jace Bennett, who will go after. Pitch up and away, ball one.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely what I was thinking too. After the way he's thrown last inning with command issues, I'd go up and I'd definitely see one before I even think about hitting.
Bennett waves the bat, left-handed box, swings, slaps it out to left for a base hit, and that's just a good piece of hitting from Jace Bennett in the 9 spot, doing what he needs to do, not doing too much, and just slapped it where the fielders weren't, and really nice piece of hitting from the 8-9 guys in the Frankfurt lineup. And we flip to the top. All you got to do is get that guy at second across, and you're going home with a victory and getting to 3-2 on the season. Joyner steps in with Johnny out there on the bump. Parker trying to get a lead out at second. Taking low, ball one is Cam Joyner, and this is another at bat like Samples that probably not fun to try to have to go out there and pump strikes against because they're not as big as some of the guys, but they're also good at taking at bats. This one he's going to take for a strike, and I don't hate the approach. Make him come after you, and counts even 1-1. You don't really lose anything there. He's still got to come throw some strikes at you. Parker leads from second. It's 6-6, bottom 7, one out. Frankfurt looks to walk it off. This ball's two up and away. It's 2-1. Two and one on Joyner. This is a huge pitch in this at bat. Patterson on deck. Johnny's pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Count is 2-2. And the big pitch there went his way in Johnny and Chester's. 2-2. And it's going to be hit by pitch. And that's going to load him up. They might appeal it here. Coach Wente obviously is going to come out and try to see if this maybe hit the knob of the bat. And both of them have it hitting the wrist. It did seem like in a spot where I'd definitely come out and appeal in this moment. I'd do it in any part of the game, but definitely worth it going out if you're Coach Wente. And both our plate and field umpire had it hitting the wrist, so it's going to be a base awarded. And now you're just 90 feet away from walking this off.
Yeah, as a coach, it's almost like, what if you didn't, appeal it kind of situation. Maybe you appeal it and, you get the call for you. The umpire out there might have something different and might work out in your favor.
Yeah, there's no negative to it. It's
Yeah.
not like you're like a challenge in basketball
Yeah,
in
you
the
lose
NBA and you
one.
lose a timeout or something. There's no negative. It's hey, what do you got? Okay, yeah. I knew it probably did, but I'm going to make sure, especially time and moment here. But all right, Mr. Starting pitcher can win it. Probably in a different way than he had envisioned to start, but he's off the hook, and now he can be the hero at 6-6. Bottom 7. Winning run 90 feet away. Patterson steps in. Johnny on the mound. First pitch coming in. Patterson swing. Out towards left center, nearing the gap. Even if it's caught, this game's over. It's a walk-off single for Chase Patterson. And Frankfort comes all the way back from 6-1 down to win this thing 7-6 and walk off the Chester Yellow Jackets. We'll hear from sponsors. We'll talk to head coach Tyson Smith and wrap things up. 7-6, Frankfort walks off Chester.
Redbird, Louis back in action. Next week, on Wednesday, you're home against Waltonville, and we will have the JV contest for you tomorrow here at Little League Field beginning at 11 a.m. We thank you for coming out this evening. Have a safe drive home.
Wallace Industrial Tools and Supplies knows Southern Illinois. Located in West Frankfort, they're your Milwaukee superstore with over 8,000 square feet. Wallace Tools has the largest selection of Milwaukee within a 2-hour radius. Find power tools such as drills, saws, lights, shop vacs, and more with pricing lower than you'll find anywhere else. Wallace Industrial in West Frankfort.
IBI Management manages over 2.5 million square feet of industrial storage, warehousing, and office space in Tennessee, Indianapolis, Ohio, Illinois, and South Carolina with 64 tenants. Please feel free to contact us for any management needed for your property. Feel free to reach out with any questions to Bobby and Iris Kazadi.
With an award-winning body shop right here in West Frankfort, Illinois, Weeks is your hometown Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealer. Come out and visit us in person or online at gregweeks.com. Your hometown dealership right on the price, right off 557.
Kids Corral Incorporated, celebrating 25 years serving the children and families of Southern Illinois. Owned and operated by Jana King and Kristen Cass. Kids Corral in West Frankfort.
Redbirds Live, brought to you by the partners of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates, including former West Frankfort High School dual sport standout Lance Brown and fellow West Frankfort alumni and veteran Matthew Carroll. The law firm of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates are proud members of the West Frankfort community and proud servants of all of Southern Illinois.
Ask Melissa Walton about Shelter's Auto, Home, and Life options. Call or text at 618-937-2092. Melissa Walton, Shelter Insurance in West Frankfort.
Contact Power Wash Plus for a free quote on all your residential or commercial pressure washing needs. Professionally operated and fully insured. Call Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505 for more information. That's Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505.
Howell Insurance is a proud sponsor of Redbird Athletics. Serving West Frankfort since 1925, we provide auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. Howell Insurance partners with Auto Owners Insurance Company to handle insurance the right way, the human way. Call Ryan, Jessica, or Susan at 937-4000. Experience a taste of Mexico at La Fiesta Mexican Restaurant. We have the best food and drinks for the whole family to enjoy. See you tomorrow, amigos.
All right, we are joined by Frankfurt Redbird head coach. That's Tyson Smith, fresh off the 7-6 comeback walk-off winner. Initial thoughts from team's performance here in the 7-6 victory over Chester.
Yeah, I think we came out and competed early. Had a few bonehead things happen to us, like I think we spoke last time. A lot of it's just routine stuff that we're too good in these positions where we're making errors that continue they shouldn't continue to happen. So we cleaned it up a little bit halfway through the game. Once we found out we were quickly down 5-0, 5-1, intensity ramped up a little bit. Yeah, that was a baseball game. I really enjoyed that.
I think a really good thing you could look at, taking away from this game is, the not quitting in it. Down 5-1 and coming back, winning the game off a walk off like that. I thought that was a really good moment for this team and how young they are, really starting to come together, kind of build some friendships and relationships in there with getting a big win tonight like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, coming back from down 5-1, we didn't change a whole lot at the plate. It's just we found ways to get on, whether we were seeing a few more pitches or taking one, or just trying to place it somewhere, trying to just do a job rather than hit something in a gap. And I'm really pleased with our approach. I think 7 or 8 guys in our lineup. Obviously, we hit 9. We didn't change our approach start to finish. Kept it simple in there, and I mean, look at the bottom 3 of our lineup. Those are 3 freshmen. If that's not encouraging to see early on from 3 freshmen, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it was even more than that. It was 6-1 even. I mean, at 6-1,
Yeah.
you score 6 straight to win at 7-6. And I mentioned it a couple times throughout the broadcast, Coach, that I think the big turning point in this game wasn't necessarily any time you scored a run or limited them on the other side, which I thought, you actually left a lot of guys out there early on in the game. But the turning point was, probably getting Evan Bland out of the game a little sooner than he had anticipated. You get deeper into that bullpen. You get an extra inning of facing that bullpen. Um, he didn't go as deep as he anticipated. He worked out of some trouble, but getting that pitch count up, walking 6, striking out 9, that's going to eat up some pitches. Credit to your guys at bats today, even working counts when they couldn't get on against him. Getting him out early was the reason you guys won.
Absolutely. And like I said earlier, that we didn't really change approaches. It's just we kind of locked in more. And once we locked in, we were able to move runners and manufacture stuff. And I thought our reads on dirt balls today were incredible. I haven't seen a team this year that we've played against or even ourselves read balls in the dirt and take a few extra bags like that. But yeah, that's just kind of what we're built on this year, and we know that we're young, but we got guys that just chip away. 4 runs an inning isn't really something we're aiming towards, but you get 1 here, you get 2 there. Just got a lot of young guys, but hungry guys that just kind of chip away.
Yeah, and they really beat up on the relievers of Hopkins, and then Johnny, who came in late. That credit, because I mean, used to seeing a little bit higher velocity guy that was in there first and had some good movement, but pretty light week, but a good bounce back after a loss against a regional team in Johnson City. But moving forward, I know you got JV tomorrow, which we'll have on here, and got a busy week at home next week too with some good ball teams coming to town. So it was important to get this one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Enjoy it. Nice walk-off winner, 7-6 victory over pretty good Chester team. Who's had some success this year, hung with some good teams in DuQuoin, and had Heron down the wire. And any win's good, but especially with this fashion. Congrats, Coach.
Yeah, that ball team, that's a good ball team. They can hit. I think the top 3 or 4 guys just kind of mash the ball. So I do want to say one thing. If anybody listens to this, parent or player after the game, our energy guys in the dugout today, our dugout guys were phenomenal. They kept us in it the whole time, kept it professional and clean for the most part. And yeah, I mean, they're a big reason why we came out on top here in the 7th. So thanks, guys. Looking forward to have you covering some JV baseball tomorrow.
Nice win, Coach. 7-6. Congrats. Frankfurt gets the win, 7-6 over Chester. And they're back tomorrow with the junior varsity before a busy week next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with Waltonville, Johnson City, and Goreville. We will finish up running our ads real quick, and we will wrap things up here on Redbirds Live.
The city of West Frankfort is proud to support the students of Frankfort Community High School. The future is in the youth of our community. Go Redbirds. McDonald's, family owned and operated. Moreland McDonald's has 21 locations to serve you.
People's National Bank has been serving the communities of Southern Illinois since 1909. We believe that great customer service along with a wide variety of products will meet all of your banking needs. Come in and check us out today. People's National Bank, member FDIC. The West Frankfort Aquatic and Activity Center are proud partners of Redbirds Live. Come check out our heated indoor swimming pool, fitness center, and basketball gym. Stop by for a visit, or you can contact us at 618-937-1665.
Okay, final score 7-6. Frankfort walks it off in the bottom of the seventh against Chester with 6 unanswered runs spread out throughout the fifth, sixth, and seventh. Chester finishes with a line of 6 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors. Frankfort with 7 runs, 7 hits, and 4 errors. Quick box score to go over. That's brought to you by the City of West Frankfort here in our post-game show. As always, our sponsor over our post with IBI Management. Here's our City of West Frankfort box score. Joyner, 2 runs, 2 walks. Patterson, 1 run, 2 hits, drove in 3, walked twice. In the 3 spot, it was Mitten, who was able to get 1 hit, 1 driven in. Duncan, 1 walk. Scales, 1 hit, 1 driven in, 2 walks. Webster, 1 walk to reach. Samples, 2 runs, 2 walks. Parker, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 walk. And then Bennett, the 9 spot, 2 runs, 1 hit. And everyone reaching base today for Frankfort. Patterson and Mitten a double. Well, Mitten a double. Patterson's would have been as he hit the gap, but it was just a walk-off single because 1 run scored. But a lot of guys got on. Hit by pitch. Joyner reached there late. Parker and Bennett both stole a base. Pitching lines. Patterson, 4 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 2 earned, 7 Ks and 3 walks. Webster, 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, and that was not earned. With 2 Ks and 2 walks, Webster is your winning pitcher today. Pitching for the other side, Bland started 4 1/3, 2 earned, 2 hits, 9 Ks, 6 walks. Then it was Hopkins who went 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 2 runs that were both earned on 2 hits, 1 K and 1 walk. And then the losing pitcher was Corbin Johnny, who went 1 inning and 1/3 with 4 runs, 2 earned, 3 hits, 0 Ks, and he walked 4. So his command was the reason he let some guys on late. But 7-6, the final, and there's your box brought to you by the City of West Frankfort here in our post-game show. Final thoughts from this one, resilient effort from Frankfort.
Yeah, like Coach said, the energy, I think was, I agree, it was a big part of, staying in this ball game and coming out with the win today. I think, with a much different energy, lower, you're not really into the game. I don't think we win this game 7-6. I think we probably lose this game 6-1, 6-2, where it looked like it was heading. So, good job for the Redbirds just to really stay in it, stay resilient, and, do anything to try to come up with a win. That's a good team over there in Chester, and they played to the final out, and look where I got you.
All right, we'll give out a player of the game. That's brought to you by Melissa Walden Shelter Insurance. And let's keep it simple today. Let's go with the walk-off hero. Let's go Chase Patterson.
That'd make the most sense. Let's go with the walk-off guy. He had a big line drive that drove in 2 runs, or
got the final run in. Would have probably cleared the bases if it had to. It could have gotten 3 in, but a nice hit ball to the gap. Made sure even if that was caught, that runner was tagging. But Chase Patterson. Overlooked that he had a decent job throwing the ball today. Those 2 earned runs, but end of the day, the pitching between him and Webster kept Frankfort's offense in it, gave them a shot, and they just needed 1 late rally, and they got it done.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good game, and games like that is the kind of games that people want to come out and see, and people come out and see it. They're giving everybody some good baseball.
If you're gonna have a long night at the ballpark, you might as well go home with a win. So Frankfurt wins it 7-6 over Chester. Varsity's back in action next week. We'll have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with Waltonville, Johnson City, and Goreville. But we're back in action tomorrow morning, 10:45 coverage with an 11 o'clock first pitch between West Frankfort Junior Varsity and Pinckneyville Junior Varsity. Thanks for tuning in to Redbirds Baseball on Redbirds Live.